is very, very different. And so we need to make sure that the plan aligns with what your goal is. And so it really comes down to making sure those pieces work together. And it sounds cliche, but it all comes down to having that plan. And so for everyone kind of going through this transition and are maybe asking themselves very similar questions about how to elect these benefits, what's available to me, give us a call at 800-725-2988 or visit us at networthadvisorsllc.com. And we'll be able to sit down and really develop that plan tailored to your goals and your concerns moving forward.
Matt, it's always great to have you on. We have just a little bit of time left, but I wanted to give you an opportunity. I know you're not prepared for this, but I think just to kind of explain a little in depth about what your role is here. I introduce you as an advisor. Maybe just give us a quick little background. I know for people who may be joining us for the very first time this week.
Yeah, that's a great question, Amy. My role here at Net Worth Advisors is to sit down across the table from individuals just like everybody listening and allow them to express their goals and their concerns as they transition maybe from a steady paycheck to their own retirement, and really make sure that we understand and address those concerns. But more importantly, how do we provide them answers? How do we make sure that when they come into us with a lot of these complicated issues, that we can deliver them in a very easy to understand plan? And so it really just comes down to making sure that we're on the same page, our goals are aligned, and which really comes down to making sure this transition is the most efficient for you. And that's different for everybody, right? Like we talked about already, everybody's goal is a little bit different, whether you want to leave some money as a legacy or maybe you want to spend a lot of that. Everyone's goals are very, very different. And so we need to make sure that the plan we develop aligns with those goals, ultimately the most efficient way possible from a tax perspective, but like we said, from a longevity perspective as well.
Matt, always great to have you on the show. I look forward to it each and every week. Thanks for your perspective, and we'll invite you back next week. Always. You're always invited. You've been listening to the Net Worth Financial Hour. I'm Amy Sharp. For Beth, Matt, and the entire team here at Net Worth Advisors, thanks so much for listening. Reach out now, 800-725-2988 to start working on your ideal retirement. Have a great week, everyone.
Net Worth Advisors, LLC is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investments and insurance products. Investment advisory services are offered only by registered individuals through Net Worth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed by Net Worth Advisors on this show are their own and do not reflect the opinion of this station. All statements and opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, although it should not be relied upon as such. Any statements or opinions are subject to change without notice. Information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Information expressed does not take into account your specific situation or objectives and is not intended as recommendations appropriate for any individual. Listeners are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. This radio show is a paid placement.
The proceeding was paid for by Net Worth Advisors. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he'll roll the shades up and, Dada, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not gonna live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, And in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. American soldiers on a mission to find and kill terrorists died today.
2 U.S. soldiers and a U.S. interpreter were killed in Syria today, and 3 U.S. service members injured after a lone ISIS gunman ambushed them, according to the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in a statement said the, quote, savage who conducted the attack has been killed by partner forces. The attack is currently under investigation, and the Pentagon will release the names of the killed 24 hours after their families are notified. Eleanor Watson, CBS News, Washington.
The ceasefire in Gaza isn't stopping Israel from going after Hamas terrorists. From Jerusalem, reporter Linda Gradstein says Israel has killed a senior commander of the terrorist group.
Ra'ad Saad was killed by an Israeli airstrike in Gaza City. Palestinian media said the strike hit a car traveling in the Hamas-controlled area of Gaza, killing 4 people. In a statement, the Israeli army said that Saad was a leading figure in the leadership of Hamas's military wing and was directly responsible for violations of the ceasefire agreement with Israel.
As cold as it is in the upper Midwest today, some hardy Wisconsinites aren't staying inside.
The northern part of the Badger State could use more snow, but temperatures this weekend are harsh.
If you even do anything at home, you got to cover up.
We'd like to go snowshoeing, but in this weather, it's still a little bit brisk for that.
It's brutal.
And how do you keep warm when it's this cold?
Shirts and flannels.
A coat and some Ugg boots, gloves, and a hat.
Bruce Marcus for CBS News, 3 Lakes, Wisconsin.
The forecast low today in 3 Lakes, 13 below zero. In Grand Forks, North Dakota today, the wind made it feel like minus 36 degrees. Now to the Pacific Northwest. Washington State is experiencing record flooding. CBS's Christian Benavides with the latest.
Washington is under a state of emergency after days of torrential rain washed out roads and left families stranded in their homes. Several rivers overflowed their banks and broke records, including the Skagit, north of Seattle, which crested at nearly 38 feet.
It's still surprising the day after Britain's King Charles said his cancer treatments are going well to hear a member of the royal family openly discuss their health. CBS's Haley Ott is in London.
The British monarch's openness about his health has been unprecedented for a member of the royal family.
I know from my own experience that a cancer diagnosis can feel overwhelming. Yet, I also know that early detection is the key that can transform treatment journeys.
Charles has still not disclosed the kind of cancer he was diagnosed with. He was, in fact, diagnosed with that cancer almost 2 years ago. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Another huge jackpot is enticing lottery ticket buyers.
After 41 draws without a winner, you may encounter lines at lottery machines today.
It's time to play America's favorite jackpot game.
At an estimated $1 billion,
this is Powerball.
The lump sum option is around $461 million before taxes.
So get your tickets ready.
The odds of winning the Powerball jackpot are 1 in 292.2 million. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
A lawsuit over the death of an 11-year-old girl from California who was allegedly tortured and starved by her adoptive family has reached a settlement. It totals $31.5 million from the city and county of San Diego, as well as from other groups. The lawsuit was brought on behalf of the two younger sisters of Arabella McCormick, who died in August 2022. The girl's adoptive mother and her parents are facing charges of murder, conspiracy, child abuse, and torture. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Winter storm warnings out for areas south of the city through 1 p.m. Sunday. Winter weather advisories elsewhere. Snow developing this afternoon, high 33. Snow tonight will taper to flurries late. Accumulations of 3 to 6 inches. The low tonight, 11. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
Pennsylvania is widely cited as the only state without recurring property reassessments. That leaves the task to counties, which produces infrequent and inconsistent reassessments. Some counties haven't had an assessment in decades, resulting in huge disparities between former and current market values. Can you say sticker shock? The last thing Pennsylvania homeowners paying high property and school taxes need is a new assessment and an even higher tax burden. The situation demonstrates how fiscally inept and inefficient state government can be. State lawmakers not only need to pass legislation requiring reassessments every 5 or 10 years, but also phase in any significant tax increases to give property owners a break. Doing that would be one way to atone for the gridlock in Harrisburg that delivered a state budget months after it was due.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Time now for Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Well, it's close. It's time now for Rachel and John, minus the Rachel, and minus the Michael Bartley, who is normally in this slot because we're usually here on Saturday evenings. But the important people are here. It's John. We'll be jagging around for the next 3 hours here. We have so much going on, but the cool thing is when we walked in, not that there's one that's better than the other, but we haven't seen producer Mike. Mike, great to be back with you.
It's great to see you guys again.
Dude, it's you know, and I texted Rachel already. I said, look, you're missing out. We got Mike here today. And so we've been coming in on odd hours and having various producers, always all good. But we always had this. You were our first. Is that right, Mike? When we first started coming in here, you were our first producer.
Yeah, on the weekends,
Yes.
I was your first.
Yes. And so, all right. So if everybody doesn't mind, look, I was on my way in here. I know the Penguins are playing at 3 o'clock. So the Parkway was backed up. And we're like, well, you're sitting in traffic. You might be listening to some calming music, but you may have to sit through me and Mike just catching up. So what's been going on with Mike? Mike, we heard you producing the morning show at one point.
Yeah, I was filling in for the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richard. Their producer, Aaron Ferragonia, was on a little vacation, so I got to do that. Okay. I also did a lot of engineering for high school football for the WPIAL game of the week every Friday, so I was doing that a lot. I actually traveled with them to cover the PIAA state championship games this past week.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of odds and ends around here at the station. So
nice. So it's like John, Rachel, we didn't even need you.
I wouldn't say all that.
So we had Nick Mancini in here the other day because he's getting ready to unveil his bread art for the year. And one of the questions that we had up on our your Jag-Off question of the day the other week, and I thought of you because it had the word pizza in it. But the question was, and Nick really weighed in heavy on this, so I thought, well, pizza has been a topic between you and Rachel and I for some time. So, all right, the question was, would you rather eat day-old popcorn or day-old pizza? What's your answer?
Easily day-old pizza.
I knew you were going to say yes.
I mean, that shouldn't even have been a question. I mean, a lot of people like cold pizza. You can, if you have good pizza and like it's not terrible when it's a day old. I mean, like, you can get away with that. I've never had day old popcorn. So I can't say I know what it tastes like because I'm not a big popcorn guy. I don't like the kernels getting in the back of your throat. And it's kind of just like a movie thing. I mean, who's eating popcorn?
I got you. I see. Now, when I make popcorn at home, I still do it the old-fashioned way. I put it in a bucket and I, kind of like slide it around. It's no microwave here, and it's decently heavy on the salt. No butter because I'm trying to be somewhat healthy. But I always make too much, so the next day I do have day-old popcorn ready to go. But I would, if there was only the choice of one, I definitely would choose the day-old pizza. But we also know there are some pizzas that are not good day-old. They might be really good the day or night of, but there are some pizzas that aren't good the day old.
Yeah,
pizza.
The sauce just dries up, and then it's just like, ugh.
Right. All right. So, what did we miss on WPIAL playoffs football wise? Is it over at this point?
Yes, it is over. Last weekend was the final weekend. We got to see 3 Western PA teams win. On Thursday, Clareton was able to capture their title. Mm-hmm. I did not work that game. But, however, on Saturday, actually it was just 2, I guess, we got to see Central Catholic play. They lost to LaSalle. Unfortunately, it was a close game at the end. But Avonworth finished their undefeated season and captured their first title, I believe, in 10 years or something like that. So
I saw that on the news, but I didn't know it was the first time in 10 years, first one in 10 years or whatever.
It's been a while for Avonworth. They had such a dominant season, and they just closed it out in dominant fashion. Every one of their wins this year came by 2 or more scores. So.
Nice. Well, and that's funny because I know, I follow hockey more than anything, and the NHL, it seems like anybody that wins the President's Trophy isn't this that goes, he has the best record. They're not a lock for winning the championship.
I don't know if you're indirectly calling out the Maple Leafs or what, but it seems like they always win the President's Trophy every year, and then they go one and done in the playoffs.
Right. So interesting that Avonworth had the stamina to go do that and carry it all the way through the playoffs.
Yeah, and the weather was a little bit bitter out. It wasn't as windy until later in the day, but it was a good show, and it was moved. It used to be in Hershey, but I didn't know they moved it to Mechanicsburg, which is about 5 minutes outside of Harrisburg.
Yeah.
But it was a nice stadium. I can't remember the team that usually plays there, but it was a good setup nonetheless.
Okay. Nice. Well, we are back together now, Mike. The one thing that I'm nervous about, because, we've only been here, a little over a year, and we've been involved when there was a press conference from the president coming through, so we know, are we going to have to take event closings tonight? If that occurs, the weather's the topic of everything.
Yeah, if we get any emergency reports, that's going to come right through. I'll give you guys a heads up. And we'll get any weather storm updates here.
But we don't have to talk about Church of the Sun and their other saint.
Not that I know of.
Is on delay. Bingo.
If that is brought up to me, then we might take it. Okay. But as of this moment, no. But again, we'll keep you guys updated on any storm updates here with this winter snow coming through.
Yeah. We may, Mike, I don't know. I didn't bring any extra clothes, but we may end up sleeping here if the stuff really comes through what they've been saying all day.
Yeah, get cozy here. There's a lot of space. I know I see a couple of couches in the back by the finances.
There's a coffee machine, a pop machine, and I think
machine we can live off snacks.
Right, yeah. The vending machine, we'll just tip it over and figure out how to break into it.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it just never works half the time.
I agree with you there. All right, so Mike is here, the producer. We're going to hang out here. We're here till 5 o'clock, jagging around. And we have there's literally not more than just the next break without a guest because so much stuff is going on around town. We're like, well, let's just talk about everything under the sun. But I do want to also make sure that you know that so every year we've been involved in the Not Your Average Holiday Parade, You Jag Off Parade. It was always at the Block Northway. Had a good time. It was always very cold, always just sort of live on YouTube. Well, this year we partnered with the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, and we did it all on the Berg bus last Saturday, and it was great. It basically was a series of 5 pop-ups, including the CEO of Grandpa Joe's throwing candy at every stop, including it was Lee Turbosic who did a little magic trick with increasing the cream inside of an Oreo cookie, which was a delight. And we got some really gorgeous food from Las Villas down in Market Square. And we celebrated Pittsburgh Past by being out in front of the Pittsburgh Oyster House, which is celebrating 155 years. Anyways, the whole point of that is the parade is coming out on video next Friday, and we'll be pushing it all through the holidays. But for now, it's John and almost Rachel and Mike, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
Already dreaming of your big summer 2026 family trip? The best homes are booking up right now. Oceanfront beach houses in the Outer Banks, sprawling lake houses in Deep Creek, and family fun condos in Myrtle Beach. When you book your dream home directly with SWAC Vacations, you not only get your first choice of dates, you save up to 15% compared to the big travel sites. Lock in your perfect summer getaway. Lock in your savings now. Get the house you want, the price you deserve. SWACK, SWACvacations.com.
Tune in to KDKA at midnight on Christmas Eve for a special Christmas Mass from Queen of the Rosary Church Saints Joachim and Parish. Christmas has special meetings, and this annual Christmas Mass broadcast is proudly presented by Rome Monument, a company that knows about special meanings. As the Tri-State's largest memorial company founded by Michael Diagardi, Rome Monument is a fourth-generation family-owned business. Their special Christmas gift is providing a Christmas Eve Mass broadcast on KDKA. Merry Christmas from the Diagardi family.
Hi, this is Jack Bogut. Remember Papa J's, that great Italian restaurant in Carnegie that burned down a few years ago? That left a big hole in the lives of a lot of us because Papa J's was a legendary gathering place for family and friends. And then it was gone. Well, the great news is that Papa J's is back, now located in the Strip District on Smallman Street in front of St. Stan's Catholic Church. Papa J's. Wonderful food still made from scratch, like fried zucchini with marinara, greens and beans, street pizza, handmade pasta with sauces that make you smile, chicken parm, veal scallopini, fresh fish, and now the Troiani family's homemade gelato. Yes, Papa J's is back on Smallman Street in the Strip in front of St. Stan's Catholic Church. Open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner. Papa J's is back.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Delicious December savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Sugardale semi-boneless whole hams, $1.29 a pound. California Sunkissed Navel Orange is 6 for $2. And selected varieties of Tide Simply Laundry Detergent, 31 to 32 ounce bottles, $1.99 each. Additional savings in our meat department. Amish Country Farm brand spiral cut ham, $2.99 a pound. Selected varieties of Sugardale bacon, 1 pound package, $3.99 each. In our produce department, golden ripe pineapples, $2.99 each, and baby Bella mushrooms, 10-ounce package, 2 for $6. In our deli department, Cooper's yellow or white sharp American cheese, $5.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of wishbone salad dressing, 15-ounce bottles, 2 for $5.
So get in on the delicious December savings happening right now at Coons Market. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on coonsmarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Back to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is Rachel and John minus the Rachel. Appreciate you jagging around with us. And Michael Bartley is, if you're used to Michael Bartley coming in here, we love Michael Bartley. And when he couldn't make it in today, we said, well, let's go ahead and do this. But in the meantime, Rachel is in Las Vegas because her and her husband are celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, going to see Zach Brown at the Sphere tonight, as a matter of fact. So just me, but we have a whole bunch of guests going on. And that's kind of what I wanted to get ready, because if you're listening here, you don't want to shut the radio off or your video stream or whatever it is, because you could go watch it on the KDKA YouTube channel thanks to Metropolitan Windows. Listen, it's the whole thing here going on. First of all, when we get into the next break, after the next news break, we have Brian Conway's coming in here, because Brian is someone that Rachel and I have known for a long time through other media relationships. And just the other day, when we knew we were going to do this shift, he had texted, it's almost like he knew it. Like the bat signal went up. John and Rachel are looking for guests on Saturday. And Brian's like, hey, I got this new thing that I'm working on. And it's a new thing about an old thing is really what it is. So I'll tease that a little bit more later. But as we go through, I noticed the other day that there's a high percentage of folks taking these small doses of the weight loss drugs. Very popular. I notice lots of folks that I see around town, they've suddenly lost a lot of weight, and it's great. I guess that's great for health, but is it great for health? Well, there's a gentleman a researcher that used to work here in Pittsburgh as a good friend. He's out in the Kansas City, Kansas area. He's a researcher as far as weight loss and weight loss science. And I said, John, I want to know, is this like for real? And not only did he say, yes, I'll come on the show, he's excited to just be back on the air, at least in the Pittsburgh area. So he's going to do some Pittsburgher shout-outs to some of his peeps, what he's on. But he's going to link in. Then later on after that, we've got Craig Wolfley's wife. Faith Wolfley is coming in because Craig had been working on a book, and so they've now published the book. It's Craig Wolfley book. It's called the If These Walls Could Talk, Pittsburgh Steelers. So Faith is coming in to talk about the book coming out. And, I think Craig Wolfley brought so many, you listen to his podcast and you saw him working with the folks on the north side with the home situation, him and Tunch. And all those things, you still hear, if you listen to the broadcast, you still hear some of the guys still using some of Craig Wolfley's terms, made-up terms. And I think we're going to get into some of that. So Faith Wolfley is coming in at 3:35. And then on top of that, it wasn't good enough, I should say, that someone saved the Iron City Brewery and started redoing Iron City and Iron City Light. And it's right up there off the Creighton exit at the old PPG research facility. But they are now distilling whiskey. And they just announced a first ever rye whiskey coming out just in time for the holidays. Making the whole whiskey thing is not something that's easy because you invest in it forever. and then you have to wait years and years to reap the benefits of selling it, and then hopefully it goes well. Well, so there's a 176 bottle run that we're going to talk about that's coming out on the 19th of December, and the master distiller's coming in. He's actually not a Pittsburgher. Listen, you're getting a good distillery chief when you bring them in from Kentucky, so that's going to be cool. On top of that, there's the Black Market pop-up this weekend and next weekend down in the downtown area. As part of the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, you know that they've moved things around from Market Square because everybody's getting ready for what? The NFL Draft. It's everybody. The NFL Draft is everybody's excuse for being late or having to not accomplish something. Like, why did you not answer my email? Well, the NFL Draft is coming in. Right. So, but downtown is completely being reworked. And so because of that, they've moved the People's Gas Holiday Market over to the Cultural District, which, by the way, I might actually vote the fact that it is a really good place the way they've had it set up there. So that's going on. The kids' play areas over there, but the next 2 weekends there is the Black Market featuring Black, African American, and Black and Latino vendors that are Pittsburgh oriented, and so we have a couple of those vendors coming on because this is the first day. Shayla, who is in charge of it all, she's like, I'd love to make time to come hang out with you guys up there in Green Tree, but I've got a million things to do here on the first day of the market. So actually 2 vendors are coming in to talk about their wares. So it really is going to be a busy day. So I teased early. So what's the first guest that's coming up, John? Let's recap. Well, I think I might have this right. It's 70-year anniversary of the Monongahela bomber. The bomber that supposedly went into the river, didn't go into the river. It was hidden. They carried it out on trucks. They didn't carry it out on trucks. It's still there. It's coming up on the 70th anniversary of that. And our guest is going to talk about that because wait, not only are they researching it again, not only have they been in contact with Andy Masick over at the Hyatt History Center, they actually found a piece somewhere in the neighborhood of where it went down. Did they or didn't they? That's what we're going to talk about. I know it's intriguing because the good part is as you're going through holiday travel and you're sitting in traffic and you're trying to figure out where to park and where to shop, they have a podcast and they've got a bunch of documents and they're getting ready to prepare a documentary about this. So when you're in downtime over the holidays, this is going to be a good way to catch up because as far as I know, look, if Andy Masick's involved, and there's some credibility there. The fact that we've never really cleared up the situation, there's a whole, listen, everybody has their own theory. It's like the World Series game where Bill Mazeroski hit the home run. If you count up the number of people that said, I was there and I saw it, there were 250,000 people at that place. So there are so many people that said they saw what happened with the airplane, but did anybody really see it? How many people really were able to see it in the middle of the night like that? So we're going to talk about that with Brian Calloway. Brian Calloway. I was thinking of Joe Calloway. Brian Conway, who's going to be our next guest. So that's what we have going on today, and appreciate you hanging out with us. We are going to give updates on the weather, through the news, and you'll hear, I know it's supposed to snow, and there are so many things going on tonight. The BBI are down there at the Thunderbird Cafe in Lawrenceville starting at 9:45. We know that Johnny Angel's singing over at the Keys Rocks VFW with the Doo-Wop Doctors. And we know that Bellevue is celebrating 10 years of the very first alcoholic drink ever poured because it was a dry town prior to that. So that's all going on. We don't need any snow to mess up any of John's plans tonight. We just need to get through this till 5 o'clock. We're going to talk to Brian Conway next on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Winter is coming. Is your roof ready? Call Home Genius Exteriors now and get 50% off materials for your new roof. Plus, no interest and no payments till 2027. Winter won't wait, and neither should you. Call Home Genius Exteriors now at 855-UR-GENIUS for your free roof and attic inspection from one of our experts. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mommy, how come I can't sit in the front seat?
Because I love you and you're just not ready yet.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's the KDKA Radio High School Basketball Game of the Week, powered by Bowser Chevrolet. Every Friday at 6, we bring you the best players, the best sounds of the game, and the best matchups in the WPIAL. This week, Moon visits Chartiers Valley, presented by Invisalign. Allegheny Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine of high school basketball, and brought to you by tobacco-free Adagio Health. Only on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. 2 American soldiers and an American civilian were killed today in an ambush on patrol in Syria. President Trump was asked about the attack as he left the White House for the Army-Navy football game.
We mourn the loss. These are three great people. And it's just a terrible thing.
Israel says it killed a senior Hamas commander in an airstrike on his car in Gaza today. From Jerusalem, the BBC's James Cook.
According to Israel, he was one of the key architects of that October the 7th attack in 2023, in which 1,200 people were killed.
In much of the northern plains and the upper Midwest, this is a weekend to stay inside. Here's National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley.
Single digits in Chicago, maybe 8 or 9 degrees, Milwaukee, maybe 6, Green Bay, maybe a degree. Temperatures won't get above 0 in the Dakotas.
He says in some areas, wind chills will reach minus 20 to minus 35 degrees. CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Tune in Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Nan Cohen and Friends Holiday Edition of Pittsburgh Works. Join the party as Nan and her cast of characters reflect over the past year for the true meaning of That's What Friends Are For. Tuesday at 7 p.m. on KDKA.
The Hybrid Operating Room, the most sophisticated surgical environment in medicine. Bob Pompiani here. At Independence Health System, the Hybrid OR opens new horizons in minimally invasive surgery for patients needing aortic valve replacement or treatment of cardiac artery disease. Its technology allows for shorter procedures, reduced post-operative recovery time, and less risk for complications. All of this is placed in the hands of some of the region's most accomplished heart and vascular specialists. Independence Health System, expert care. Here.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-999-3339. That's 800-999-3339. Again, that's 800-999-3339.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Retirement, it's almost here. Are you ready? Well, join Kurt Kanodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group for your retirement blueprint. Let Kurt and Ethan help you plan for your retirement dreams. Don't miss your retirement blueprint, Sundays at 10. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Cloudy this afternoon with snow developing, high 33. Snow tonight will taper to flurries late. Brisk and turning colder. Snow accumulations of 3 to 6 inches. Untreated surfaces will become slippery, the low 11. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Let's return to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is Rachel and John, but it is just John because Rachel's hanging out in the sunshine of Las Vegas. So you're stuck with just me jagging around. And we have a bunch of guests coming in here, as we talked about earlier. But this one is a timeless topic. Does anybody know anybody that was around when the bomber went into the Monongahela River and then was secretly pulled out? Or was it pulled out? We don't know. Brian Conway is here. Brian, we've known you forever, but somehow you just kind of squeaked into this new endeavor through Pittsburgh Manifold. And so, first of all, welcome to KDKA.
John, thank you so much for having me to the new studio. It's a pleasure to be here this snowy Saturday.
Well, it is. Thank you for saying it's a pleasure, because Mike and I think we're going to end up sleeping here, given the timing of all this weather. But you're more than welcome. But I know you have to go out and get your cheese and milk and toilet paper, right?
Exactly. I'm Giant Eagle.
All right. No, and that in itself could be a mystery where it all goes. But all right. So tell me what you guys have been involved with since we last talked to you.
So thank you for having me on. Pittsburgh Manifold is an independent news site here in Pittsburgh. Myself and some other award-winning independent journalists have decided to combine forces and form a journalism collective, basically rebranded Pittsburgh Independent as Pittsburgh Manifold. But this is basically a showcase for us to say that if we work together, this is the type of reporting we could do. And the first story that we are taking on together is that of this Mon bomber mystery. As you said, the plane went down January 31, 1956, so almost 70 years ago. And it's a wild story, but this whole thing started about a year ago. My friend has a fishing boat, and we went out on Veterans Day. And, I'm always looking for content, something to put some short video stuff online. And we said, hey, let's go magnet fishing on the Mon. And your listeners can actually go on PittsburghManifold.com. We have this clips from this in our announcement video. But we went in the fishing boat down to where the plane is known to have sunk between Pages and the Glenwood Bridge. And along the shore there, we saw a piece. It looked like some sort of industrial debris or something, and it ended up being a piece of an exhaust manifold. And why that is significant, the exhaust manifold for this particular B-25 that crashed in the Monongahela River, the exhaust manifold was one of the features that made this particular variant unique. This was like a training bomber that went down. It was based in Nellis Air Force Base outside of New Mexico, not far from Roswell and Area 51, which I think is the source for a lot of these mysteries. But the piece that we found was from an exhaust manifold. And so it set me down this rabbit hole where not only am I trying to find out, what this piece of machinery was that we identified, but additionally, we started filing new open records requests to look into the historical record, looked into some archival works, and then also, most significantly and most interestingly, we've partnered with a underwater drone company here in Pittsburgh called Aquatonomy. They have donated their time and equipment, and we're doing a scan of the Monongahela River at its deepest part where the plane is believed to have gone down.
Brian, this is so intriguing. So, first of all, you're a young guy. I
appreciate you saying that. I turned 40 this year.
Now, do you know of this story? You know, have folks in your family known about it, or you've gone through the records and you've played the telephone game where everybody knows but nobody really knows? How do you come across this story?
So I grew up in the Mon Valley. My dad's from Homestead. I heard it from him, and it was something that was always interesting, and especially I think as a journalist, you know, this plane, hundreds and hundreds of people saw this plane crash land. It skimmed the high-level bridge around 3:30 in the afternoon on that January 31.
So that's a fact, right? Everybody agrees that that's a fact.
Yeah, 2 of the 6 men on board died in the icy waters that day. So this is something that definitely happened. It was in the news. But then the mystery and why it's lingered for so long is because the plane was never located, and it spawned all these rumors of, was there some secret extraction from the river that night, and if there was, why did they do this? And so we've put out a call to the public. You can go to the website monbomber.com, monbomber.com, and we're looking for anyone who is an eyewitness. I know that was a long time ago, 1956, but there could be people who maybe saw something, or maybe they knew somebody that was involved in some late night plane extraction. Maybe you have some primary source document like photos or a journal, but we're putting that call out. So again, we're trying to tackle this from a couple different angles. We're trying to get the eyewitnesses, people who may have seen something. Like I said, we're doing the archival research. We're filing new Freedom of Information Act requests. And then, like I mentioned too, we're also scanning the bottom of the Mon. But we're going to come out with the findings from all this with a short documentary on January 31 of next year. That is the 70th anniversary. And again, this is going to be the first big showpiece for Pittsburgh Manifold, this new independent journalist collective that we're forming here in Pittsburgh, to say, hey, you know, if we can get some funding, like I said, we have nonprofit fiscal sponsorship, we can get 501c3 charitable donations, but this first big project is to really demonstrate that, hey, we are a talented group, a collective of journalists working together to put out meaningful reporting in the public interest, and, you know, trying to take a swing at Pittsburgh's biggest mystery for our first project. You know, we're happy and excited to take that on and share our findings with the city.
Well, let me challenge you on one piece of this, Brian. I don't know that it's Pittsburgh's biggest mystery. The biggest mystery is why people slow down at the Squirrel Hill Tunnel. so that in itself is a mystery. No, so, all right, so your Pittsburgh Manifold, let's get a little deeper on that, and the fact that a lot of online publications are short blips. Hear this. There's, you know, they're meaningful, but you're saying you're putting your team together on one very deep conversation and publication. Is that it?
So we're going to have regular weekly content, too, in the months and weeks ahead. We also started the podcast, Pittsburgh Manifold, that you can find online. Our first interview was with Heinz History Center's Andy Masick, so he got in deep into the mystery as well. So we're going to have some regular weekly content, but we also really want to go and do some deep dives that, you know, it's hard as an independent journalist working on your own to maybe get funding, or, you know, if I wanted to take this on by myself, you know, videographers, archival research, all these different things. And so I've been really fortunate to work with a lot of talented collaborators. Sterny Wellsby is doing a lot of the social media and the video work. She's formerly of the Pittsburgh Current. Emma Riva, she publishes Petrichor, a local art magazine. Ben Gibbons, he's been covering the local music scene at Board in Pittsburgh longer than for anyone like the past 5 years. Marini Ray, she's a local photojournalist. She was out with us on the Mon when we were doing the scan that day. So if we could get this collection of, you know, some heavy hitter independent journalists, not only could we just follow our beat and report on that at Pittsburgh Manifold, you know, have like a regular newsletter, podcast, everything like that, but then we could also collaborate and work on these bigger projects as well.
Okay. All right. So now this piece of metal, this manifold, no, is that what he called it? The piece of metal. So that, what did you do with that? Did you turn that into the Heinz History Center? Are you holding on to it, saying, okay, we're going to have to send this out to a metallurgist and figure out where it comes from?
So it is an undisclosed location currently.
Okay, I love it. I love it. See, we add to the mystery. Yes.
But I will say, so we did hit it with an XRF, which is this magical piece of technology that tells you what it's made out of.
Okay.
And it was made of this non-magnetic stainless steel of the type that's used in exhaust manifolds. And so there's also a plaque on this exhaust manifold with a company name on it, and this company was making exhaust manifolds for the Air Force at the time that this particular B-25 was getting retrofitted with the exhaust manifold, because the B-25 was really from World War II. It was really active early on in the war, but by 1956 this thing was outdated, and so they scrapped a lot of them, but a lot of the other ones they retrofitted for various purposes. There was maybe like 48 of them that were turned into trader variants, and that's what this one was that went down in the Mon. And so the fact that this is an exhaust manifold is significant, but again, this company that was making exhaust manifolds for the Air Force at the time, they were also making them for trains, they were also making them for boats. So we don't know, like I said, this is an exhaust manifold from a company that was making them for the Air Force at the time. But, you know, even if it's from a train or something, you know, what train exploded? And so we're going to chase this mystery down, however deep it goes. And I think that, you know, the fact that we're using manifold in our title, I think it works, you know, it's representative of a collective.
Yeah.
But it's also representative of the work that we're going to do. You know, I would love if this was from the plane, but we're going to track it down and get to the bottom of it no matter where it goes.
I love get to the bottom of it, dig deeper. I love all these. They're not even puns, but they're real stuff going on here with you guys. The B-25 bomber, that it did go in the river. Did it ever come out of the river?
Well, let me ask you, John, what do you think happened?
You know, I've listened to it. I'm so intrigued by a story. I'll take a story on each side of it, especially if I'm in a bar with a beer. I just like I could have you talk about this for an hour and a half. And I listened to the podcast episode with Andy Masick. I'm like, well, you know, Andy Masick, I could listen to do anything. But you're going to hang with us through the break. You're going to answer our questions, the user questions, and talk more about how we get more information to you, right?
I can't wait.
Yeah, all right. It's John jagging around without Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At AHN, we see you juggling 100 things at once. That's why we made it easier to book with the doctors you need. With AHN online scheduling, you can book with your primary care provider or get time with a specialist. Visit ahn.org/schedule, answer a couple of simple questions, and search for providers, locations, and times that work best for you. Easy online scheduling, because at AHN, we see you.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Construction on Penn Start, a testing track for autonomous vehicle companies and emergency responders commencing. President of RIDC, we have Mr. Don Smith.
And it's a partnership to really bring this testing environment that'll help keep the jobs from companies like Aurora and Stack and Motional here in the region.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Mommy, how come I can't sit in the front seat?
Because I love you and you're just not ready yet.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Back to Rachel and John on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is just John. Rachel's not here today, but we'll be back. And but we are completely engrossed in a conversation right now about the B-25 bomber that went down. All right, we're verifying that it went into the river, the Mon River. And in January, the end of January, it will be the 70th anniversary of that occurring. After that, it's all a mystery. And the gentleman with us here today, Brian Conway, is the co-founder of the Pittsburgh Manifold, which is an independent publication entity. And the first big task they're digging deep on is the B-25 bomber. So, Brian, welcome back to KDKA.
Thanks for having me, John.
All right, so we know that the plane. So let's go back a little bit. We're talking about that plane. So the facts are it did go down.
Yes.
It was flying over. There's nobody that disputes that.
Yes.
Then you turn around and say, okay, did it come out or didn't it come out? Mm-hmm. Did somebody harbor some people? Did they? I even heard on your podcast about did they hire entertainment dancers, things like that? And did people hide people in their houses over there in Homestead? So let's go for somebody who doesn't know exactly where did they think it went in. You mentioned one of the more famous, not in the winter, one of the more famous iconic locations, Pages.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you're giving directions in Pittsburgh, you have to use some local spots if you want to do it accurately. Right. So yeah, the plane, it was, like I said, January 31, 1956. It was in the afternoon. The plane buzzed the high-level bridge, and then it crash-landed before the Glenwood Bridge. And again, 2 of the 6 men on board died. And the plane actually went for about a mile going down the Mon River until it sank. And so what's fascinating is that right around where it sank, there is this pit in the Monongahela River. And I think there was like some gravel dig that was going on there back in the day. And so the speculation, at least, is that if you want to look at this like objectively and say, you know, forget the Vegas showgirls, forget the nuclear bomb that may or may not have been on board, you know, put all those conspiracy theories away. If you want to look at it objectively, that plane went down and into the pit, and all the king's horses and all the king's men, they could not find it despite 2 weeks of searching. And then some guy bought the salvage rights, and then he looked for a while, and then the History Center did some expedition like 20 years ago with sonar, and they couldn't find it. And so the pragmatic explanation is that it's down in this pit. But, you know, if you also want to look at it, you know, objectively and put those conspiracy theories away, this was a big plane. I mean, these bomber planes are big things, and this the newspapers at the time said that this pit in the Mon was 50 feet deep. Well, this plane was 52 feet long and 67 feet wide. So even if it went down right into this pit, I mean, that still seems like there's 2 feet of plane that should be sticking out of the water. And now, I mean, I am not a scientist. I cannot speak to these, the river bottom and everything like that. But it does not seem to be completely absurd to say that there is at least a chance that it was taken out of the water simply by the fact that that is a lot of plane to just lose in a river that is not that deep.
Yes. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Right? All right. So the other thing would be is that, have you looked at, so I love the fact that, I mean, real journalists, and I don't mean that to disparage anybody else that's worked on this, but you guys are journalists and you're putting real journalism into this, connecting the dots, but also knowing that dots don't necessarily connect. 2 + 2 doesn't always equal 4. Sometimes it equals 5. So I love that. So do you have any idea, like it's 70 years, what the water would have done to a vessel like that? Could it have corroded it completely where you don't find anything? Have you done any investigation like that?
So that is probably our biggest challenge. I mean, that was a polluted waterway for a long time. And so a lot of the speculation is that, the aluminum skin would have eventually just worn away.
Okay.
And there's also a lot more sediment at the bottom of the river too now. And so anything that may have been down there could have been covered by like 10 or 15 feet of sediment over the years. But this company we're working with, Aquatonomy, it's really state-of-the-art technology, and so the scan we're going to have of the bottom of the river is going to be very fine resolution. So, I mean, in our dreams, we get this scan results back and there's like a wing or a propeller or something sticking up. We know that is a long shot, but even if we don't find anything, it could be that it's something, even deeper, or if we don't see anything, that doesn't rule out the fact that maybe there was some late night extraction. And to your point, extraordinary claims like that do require extraordinary evidence, and that's why we're doing, some archival research, at various government agencies that we know were involved, and then we're also filing these Freedom of Information Act requests with various entities as well. There were groups that looked into this like 20, 30 years ago, even before that. And at least based off of the archives that are at the Heinz History Center, it looks like there were some agencies that were involved that maybe haven't responded to the Freedom of Information Act request. And so, again, who knows what we'll find? I mean, it seems like a long shot that there was like some secret late night plane extraction that, has never really came out. But the fact that they never found this plane is what makes this so compelling after so long.
For sure. Everybody continues to talk about it. All right. So, Brian, we'd love to tell people how to find you, how to donate to you for your documentary, whatever that is. But, the rules here are you have to answer our Yinzer questions. And so are you prepared to do that now?
Yes, that is fair.
All right. So first Yinzer question is, what is something that we would possibly have to take away your Yinzer card for?
Man, I feel like this just gets to the ethos of your program, right? Like, I mean, this is if you're a jag-off, you lose it.
True.
True.
This is
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. I mean, kindness is a virtue here in Pittsburgh.
True.
I think if you are unkind to your neighbor and you're a jag-off, that should remove your answer card.
Okay, I like it. All right, that's a very good twist. All right, what is something that's your destination that you've procrastinated on? You go to a party, you drive by it, people say, have you ever been? You go, man, I just drove by that the other day. Haven't been. Do you have one of those?
So if this was a few months ago, I would have said the Maxo Vanko murals in Millville, but shout out New Sun Rising and Scott Wolovich. He took us there a couple months ago. So I did recently see the Maxo Vanko murals, but somewhere I haven't gone yet, ironically, because I do bike a lot in the city. I haven't been to Bicycle Heaven over on the north side. I know there's like a bunch of famous bikes. I think there's one I remember, like Pee Wee Herman's bike from the movies there.
No doubt.
So I got to check that place out.
All right, cool. All right, the last one, got a neighborhood, like, wow, I didn't know this about this neighborhood.
My collaborator, Emma, and I both call the South Side home, and oftentimes we'll meet for coffee at Mediterranean Market. It's like a little marketplace right on Carson Street. You overlook it. You can go in and get like some gyros for lunch if you want, but it's just this older Syrian guy that runs it, and there's like homemade baklava, homemade hummus, and you could get like the Turkish coffee in like the silver pot, the very like, strong coffee there, and it's someplace that's off the beaten path. It's been there for a long time, and it's easy to overlook. And so I think Mediterranean Market in the South
There
Side.
you go. All right, real quick, we got about 10 seconds left here. Where does everybody find out more about your podcast and all the work you're doing?
Visit us online at Pittsburgh Manifold. That's at PGH Manifold. You could also go to monbomber.com, monbomber.com. If you know somebody who saw something 70 years ago or have some sort of firsthand primary document that you could share with us, see us January 31st for the premiere of the short documentary.
Cool. All right, we're going to talk weight loss drugs next. Are they real? Are they not? It's Rachel and John, minus Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Christmas, and don't forget the sausage. Richie's Italian Sausage has been a Pittsburgh holiday tradition for 80 years. From the Ritchie family, Merry Christmas. May your holiday be filled with God's blessings. Richie's Italian Sausage, it's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Why would a guy in financial services pick a fight with the financial industry? Because in many cases, the system they built works more for them than it does for you. Tune in for a new kind of retirement show with Greg Ayler, now at a new time, Saturdays at 5 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The Pittsburgh Zoo and Aquarium makes spirits bright this holiday season with Wild Illuminations, a holiday lantern experience presented by UPMC Health Plan. Let your imagination glow. Select nights, November 22nd through January 11th. Tickets available at pittsburghzoo.org.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Covered by JP Roofing and Siding. Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Roofing Company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. An ambush in Syria has killed 2 American soldiers and an American civilian interpreter. They were on patrol with Syrian forces. President Trump spoke to reporters before he left the White House for the Army-Navy football game.
We mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones. Very, very sad.
Many Americans may not realize it, but American troops have been in Syria for years, working to suppress terrorist activity. More on that from CBS News national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
Around 900 troops, largely special operations forces, have been conducting joint anti-ISIS operations with the Syrian Democratic Forces since 2018 in order to prevent the terrorist group from trying to reconstitute in any meaningful way.
Israel has killed a senior Hamas commander in Gaza with an airstrike on his car. Reporter Linda Gradstein from Jerusalem.
Israel says that Ra'ad Saad was the head of Hamas's weapons manufacturing headquarters and one of the architects of the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. They said he was the number 2 to the current Hamas military chief, Izzadin Haddad. The army said Ra'ad had been working to rebuild Hamas's military capability. The next phase of the ceasefire calls for Hamas to disarm.
It is bitterly, even dangerously cold in the upper Midwest and northern plains today. The wind chill made it feel like 36 degrees below zero in Grand Forks, North Dakota. In Three Lakes, Wisconsin, the forecast low is 13 below.
It's terrible. Very terrible. I'm trying to stay positive.
Oh, the weather's horrible. Snowy, cold.
National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley says another storm is coming to the Pacific Northwest, parts of which have experienced record flooding after days of torrential rainfall.
Not as much rain, certainly, as we saw before, and I think it looks like the axis of heavier rain will actually move southward into Oregon and Northern California as we get into Tuesday, maybe even to Wednesday.
Belarus today freed more than 100 people from prison, many of them political prisoners. An American official says there was a U.S. citizen among them. More on that from the BBC's Debbie Ross.
They include the Nobel Peace Prize winner Alias Bielalatsky and the opposition politician Maria Kolesnikova, who had served 5 years in jail. She's expected to arrive in Lithuania shortly. The deal to free the prisoners has been brokered by by the United States, which is keen to normalize relations with Belarus.
Ukrainian officials say most of the former prisoners are now in Ukraine and will be sent to Poland and Lithuania after they get checked out. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
AI is everywhere now. Its architects are Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Disney's announced a $1 billion deal to let users generate their own characters using AI. And a new social media account is turning political leaders into AI babies.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle.
That's the voice of the president, but the image on the Diaper Diplomacy social media account is an AI-generated baby Trump in a tiny blue suit and red tie with a blonde comb over. There's a Pete Hegseth version and a New York City mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani baby that has a full mustache and beard.
I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years.
Diaper Diplomacy, which has hundreds of thousands of followers, has expanded to include the Crib News Network and a merch store. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
That store sells mugs printed with baby Joe Biden wearing aviator sunglasses. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Support St. Anthony school programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy sessions, and job skills development. Serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find St. Anthony school programs within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, they have empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at StAnthonyKids.org.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Winter storm warnings out for areas south of the city through 1 p.m. Sunday. Winter weather advisories elsewhere. Snow developing this afternoon, high 33. Snow tonight will taper to flurries late. Accumulations of 3 to 6 inches. The low tonight, 11. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is Rachel and John jagging around KDKA. Again, subbing in for Michael Bartley. If you're used to hearing Michael Bartley, he'll be back next week. And we appreciate coming in here and being able to get out of here before the snow starts. You know, typical Yinzers. Anyways, you know all these weight loss drugs. I'm sure you have somebody in your neighborhood, in your household that has dropped a ton of weight. They look great. You want to tell them they look great and say, wow, what have you done? Used to be that people would hide it, but now they say, no, man, I'm on the whatever it is, whether it's Ozempic or whatever. Well, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing to get a kickstart? Well, a former Yinzer, actually Yinzer at heart, who we need to get back here, is John Jakisik, and he is out of the, John, I'm looking right here, University of Kansas Medical Center, Department of Internal Medicine, Division of Physical Activity and Weight Management. And bottom line is, that's nice to have a PhD, but it's really good to have a Yinzer in your heart. Welcome to KDK, John.
Hey, John, thanks for having me. I'm so thrilled to be on my hometown station here. Thanks so much.
Well, for sure. So you've done so much research. I knew you when you were here in Pittsburgh doing even the NFL helmet research and all this kind of. You were involved in so many cool things. You're a guy I loved to sit and have beer with because you knew all this like intricate stuff. So we're not having a beer, but let's talk about this. Everybody knows somebody that's on a weight loss drug at this point. So let's just be. And the reason why I contacted you to be on with us today is that I saw that there's a high number of people and high percentages of people having success, and I think that's great if people are getting healthy. But I guess the overall question, John, is let's go back a few steps. Are people really getting healthy by doing this?
Well, John, if you'd have turned back the hands of time 10 or 20 years, medications, pharmacotherapy for weight loss was being tried, and there was some modest success. These new medications that we have now are literally game changers and health changers. I mean, we are in a stratosphere now where we haven't ever been before. And, we call them weight loss drugs, but the reality is they were started as diabetes medications, and they've evolved over to where, hey, weight's coming off. They've evolved into weight loss, but the reality is that we're seeing that these medications, as people are taking them, are affecting so many chronic health conditions, reducing cardiovascular disease, liver problems, kidney problems. I mean, you just start to name it. It's kind of across the board. So these are game changers in the health systems right now.
John, let's go back a few steps more. Why is it so hard to lose weight? And I know I'm 60. And it's harder now to lose weight. I still love a good couple of pieces of pizza and a beer with the boys, but it is harder as we get older. But in general, emotionally, physically wise, it is so hard to lose weight.
I think that we've been doing this a long time, John. You know that I've been doing this a long time, and I pretty much have seen it all. And, for the longest time, and I think many of your listeners feel like it's just about me. It's just about my willpower. I just can't seem to do this. The reality is there's three things that contribute to the struggles with people gaining the weight and then the struggles with people losing the weight. One is your biology. Your biology and your physiology partially drive this, and you can't really change that very much. The second thing is we are living in an environment that is just conducive to, eating more, being less active, all those things. And the last thing is, trying to think about how busy people are. How do I get more activity into my lifestyle? How do I plan for better meals? So it's a three-pronged animal that we're trying to fight: the physiology, the behavior, and the environment that we're in. And for some individuals, many individuals, it's a big struggle.
John, how long have you been researching this?
Do I have to? Because then I'm going to give away my age.
Right.
John.
We'll say you started when you were 7.
I started when I was 6. But I started studying obesity and weight loss in 1988.
Wow.
And I was a really young professional at that point in time. So I've been doing it for a long time. So we've seen a lot of things come and go.
So this weight loss drug stuff that's happening now, is it like when the internet changed the world? Is this really, is over all the time, you've never seen anything change the weight loss world like this?
No, this is completely different than anything we've seen in my career. So these are game changers. These are health changers. These are quality of life changers for individuals who need them and can get access to them.
And it is a rapid weight loss as compared to is it better to combine this with exercise, and things like that? Rachel and I did a weight loss thing last spring, and then we followed it up with, okay, we got to get to a gym. And so we started getting to a gym. It's sort of like, you lost the weight, that gave you the push. Okay, now I can get to the gym because I don't feel so bad, and I worked so hard at basically getting it off. Now I want to keep it off. Is that sort of the mindset when you see your research?
Yeah, I think, John, the one thing I want to say is these aren't rapid weight loss.
Okay.
They're consistent weight loss. They're consistent weight loss.
I see. Okay, good point.
Our studies, we're seeing, a couple pounds a week on average, but it's consistent. And I think the struggle is when individuals are trying to change their behaviors, it's a little up, it's a little down, it's hard, it's a pound here, it's a half a pound. These are very consistent, a couple pounds a week. And so you start to think about that consistency, and that's what makes it look rapid. But it's a consistent weight loss over this period of time, which again is very, very great. And you asked about combining it with, lifestyle types of factors like, this is a new opportunity also in the fitness exercise space as well as in the nutrition space, John, because for so many years, we've been saying what we need to do is to manage our weight. We need to be more active. We need to do more, and we need to eat less. These medications are taking care of the eating less. They are medications that help with hunger and satiety signaling. They're taking care of the hunger and hunger signals. So now we can focus our nutritional aspects on healthy eating, not less eating. And I think that's a big, important thing.
Wow,
I don't have to focus on counting my calories. I can say, hey, how can I eat a healthier diet? Likewise, I don't have to say, boy, I need all this exercise in order to lose weight because I have to burn all these calories. Now I can say, let me be active. Let me exercise for the health benefits beyond its effect on body weight. And that changes the game because that changes how much we have to do. It's not like we have to do this so great amount of activity. There's a modest amount that all of us could do and gain the health benefits because it's not about the weight anymore.
Man, you see, that's the part I didn't, you're talking about. I didn't realize it was not a rapid weight loss. I get the consistency versus, so that does make it healthy, I guess, in my non-PhD mind. By the way, we're talking to John Jakasik, PhD, University of Kansas Medical Center, Division of Physical Activity and Weight Management. But more importantly, John was a friend and a Yinzer, for God's sakes. I'm looking at him on the Metropolitan Window Company and YouTube channel, and I see the Steelers mini helmet in the back. I see an Iron City can in the back. All that stuff.
Well, John, if you could see off my other shoulder here, you can't really see it, but I have an entire black and gold Christmas tree with Steeler stuff on it, Heinz ketchup bottles, the incline ornaments, the whole thing, and it's right in the window in Kansas. And so, obviously, I hope none of my Chiefs fans or friends are on, but they don't like me when they look in my front window of my house.
I love it. So, John, I know we want to talk more about this, but your credentials, lead us here. But again, their biggest credential is we're friends, and so many things you've researched. Out of all the things you've researched, this has got to be just your home run, you and your team's home run.
John, it is, and there's been a lot of home runs, and what I want to say is, and it's happening now, but it happened when I was doing all this research in Pittsburgh. What the home run was seeing individuals who were benefiting from our research having a healthier quality of life.
All right, hold that thought.
It tears me up. It tears me up, John, when I see.
Pretty awesome.
I know that we changed people's lives in such a positive way, and that's what my motivation is.
We have so many more questions for you, John. Are you willing to hang with us through the break here? Because we're going to do our Yinzer questions. All right, it's John and Rachel, minus the Rachel today, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
You want to be the big hero this holiday season? Give a gift they'll never forget. Instead of just more stuff, give them an incredible experience. Imagine their faces when they learn they're spending a week lounging in a private lazy river in the Outer Banks, splashing in the indoor pool of a massive Deep Creek lake home, or waking up to the waves from an oceanfront condo in Myrtle Beach. The best gifts are memories. Visit SWACvacations.com today to book your dream summer 2026 getaway. SWAC, SWACK vacations.com.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Give the taste of Pittsburgh this holiday with A La Familia's 5 and 3-piece gift boxes featuring signature sauces like marinara, vodka, Diavolo, and bolognese, plus chili oil or red wine vinaigrette. All under $60 with free shipping nationwide. Order at alafamiliafinefoods.com. Happy holidays. Enjoy the City of Pittsburgh's annual Gingerbread House competition presented by Clearview. View hundreds of edible masterpieces on display in the City County Building's grand lobby through January 2nd. Details at getinvolved.pittsburghpa.gov. Looking for the perfect holiday gift? Look no further than Rivers Casino. Purchase a $100 non-gaming gift card and receive a $20 non-gaming bonus gift card now through December 24th. Visit riverscasino.com for more information. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Details at KDKA-radio.com.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Or is it? For many, the holidays are a time of stress, irritability, anxiousness, and just waiting for them to be over. This is Dr. Shufo from the Weight Loss and Wellness Center. I have a brand new supplement called Zenziety that you spray into your mouth when those times come, and it really takes the edge off and brings you to a state of calm. Zenziety. You can order online, dbcweightloss.com, or call 1-800-900-THEN.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Tune in Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Nan Cohen and Friends Holiday Edition of Pittsburgh Works. Join the party as Nan and her cast of characters reflect over the past year for the true meaning of That's What Friends Are For. Tuesday at 7 p.m. on KDKA.
Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he'll roll the shades up and, Dada, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not gonna live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Let's return to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is, John. Rachel's off today. Jagged around here before the snow hits. And we've got another John on the line, John Chakisik, PhD, part of the University of Kansas Medical Center, Division of Physical Activity and Weight Management. John has been a friend for so many years. Matter of fact, he texted, we were on your boat just off the south side having icy lights years ago. And so here we are back, joined together. We're talking about the weight loss drugs. And really, you've educated me alone, John, in the fact that I thought there was some danger in these things, and I don't. You're telling me, actually, this is literally changing lives. And as a practical researcher who looks at science with no emotion, you're getting emotional over the success that these things are having.
Yeah, they are super successful. And John, I don't want to say that there's no danger to them.
Sure.
There's side effects to any medication that we take. But I do think it's important for your listeners to hear this one point, and that is these medications they're approved by the U.S. FDA, and there are basically a couple of them that are approved. The challenge is right now there are other places that are kind of making what I'll call generic or compounded medications that are trying to simulate the that are not approved by the FDA.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really things that I think your listeners should be very careful about, talk to their physician about, and before they start to use a compounded medication. Those are not pure all the time. It's not the exact same makeup. So those may not be as effective, and they may carry a little more side effects and risks.
Okay, yeah, that actually is when on the list of questions. That's actually where I was going to go. In that, yeah, and is there, I think of the people that I've known that had the stomach stapling or the various surgeries, whatever the generic term is for those, and how many people I know that have had that then reoccurred having obesity situations again after that. It didn't stay, and I'm watching these people. If they come off of these drugs, do they start to gain weight again?
Yeah, the research is, there's more and more research coming out on that, and a vast majority of them, as you stop the medication, the weight comes back on, because, the medications are helping to control hunger and satiety and other things, slow gastric emptying, slow the food through the gastric system and other things. But it's just, John, I like to think about, these weight loss medications, these obesity, we like to call them obesity management medications.
Okay.
Because obesity is a chronic condition. But if you think about a person with hypertension, high blood pressure, you put them on high blood pressure medication. If they come off that medication, their blood pressure goes back up.
Oh, yeah.
And we never think twice about leaving a person on that medication for a long period of time. So we really need to think about these obesity management medications the same way, is that for some people, it's going to be a thing where they have to continue to take them for a long, long period of time. Otherwise, they are going to have this reoccurrence of weight regain, and that's what we want to try to avoid.
Yeah. All right, John, we've talked so much technical stuff. We have to get you in on the Yinzer questions. Are you ready for the challenge? Because we want people to be able to find out where to follow you, get more information without just going to generic. But we can't do that, John, unless you follow our rules. Are you good?
I hope so. Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
All right, so our Yinzer questions. First one is, you haven't been here for a while, but when you're here, what is something we could possibly want to remove your Yinzer card for? What would we take it away for?
Take my Yinzer card away for?
Yeah, like Rachel always talks about, she doesn't like Permantes. So she supports Permantes, but she doesn't like a Permantes sandwich. Is there anything we would think about? Wow, John.
No, I don't think so. I'm a lifer, man. It's in my blood. It's black and gold in my blood. I don't know what it would be, but I would say, I'd really like to see us get a cleanup hitter.
Right. There you go.
We need some help on that side of the diamond, man.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Now, what would be something that would be your procrastination destination? Something where when you're around here, you say, "Oh man," somebody says, "John, you ever been?" You're like, I still haven't gotten there yet. What would be something like that in your life?
Let's see here. I've been to so many things. I mean, I've been to everywhere in Pittsburgh, John. I lived there for like 60 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is. I honestly don't know if there is a place in Pittsburgh that I have not been.
You know what one of the most popular answers to this question for our guests typically is never been to Randy Land or the Mattress Factory on the north side. That's the two most popular answers.
There you go. I have not been. Yeah, there's one there. I have not been there. I'll give you that one.
Okay. Sure. All right. You fit right in. Now, around Pittsburgh, we know Joe Namath grew up on this street. Joe Montana grew up on that street. Or there's the Barbie doll fence out in the Polish Hill. And in Pittsburgh, when we don't believe someone, we go, nah. So what would be a neighborhood like something, either something cool about a neighborhood where you used to live or something just we would never know about?
Well, I grew up in what was called the Bon Air area of Pittsburgh, which was just up above McKinley Park.
Okay.
And, I think that it no longer exists, but actually, and I know we'll have a debate on this, but I actually think that the best hoagies that I have ever had were at a small little pizza shop called Pizza Time, right up there in that Bon Air area of Pittsburgh. And so if I could ever go back and have one of those, man, it doesn't exist anymore, but I could tell you they were the absolute best.
That is interesting. And so when you would say that, we'd say, nah, and then you would say, uh-huh. Yeah, so. John, we appreciate you being nebby into the health of people. When you're doing your research out there in Kansas City, are people here in Pittsburgh reading it, seeing it, because you're all connected somewhere in the research foundations and things like that?
We are, and I was just at a meeting, a professional meeting, maybe a month or so ago. Ran into some good colleagues that I've stayed in touch with in Pittsburgh. Still actually involved in a study, collaborating with some of my colleagues back in Pittsburgh. I had some great times. We did great things and made some really great colleagues and friends throughout that. So we stay in touch, and we're collectively working on all of this together. So shout out to all those folks and to everyone else that's listening from Pittsburgh. I'm glad I'm on.
John, no leader of the band goes without naming the band. You got any shout outs for anybody back here in Pittsburgh?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I hope my brothers are on. I'll be seeing them in about a week. Their families. I think my former administrative assistant Diane is listening in. All my buddies from down at the boat dock, John. Nice. Everybody, all my friends and family. I miss you all so much.
That's good. Well, John, it is great to see you and talk to you. Where can everybody follow you, find you online? It's just find the research.
Yeah, I post on two different places. I post on, I have a Facebook account, so you can just search me on Facebook, and I'm happy to friends with you. But my professional stuff, I kind of keep on LinkedIn. So if you reach out and ask me to connect on LinkedIn, feel free to do so. We post a lot of things and repost a lot of things. So if you're very interested in this, all the work we're doing and the work that all of our colleagues are doing, that's a good hub of place that we can kind of keep you up to date. So feel free to follow.
All right, John, at least I can go eat cookies and feel like I'm still being healthy after talking to you.
I got to go do the cookie. I'm going to do the cookie baking this afternoon, John.
There you go. It is John and Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hello, everyone. It's Bob Pompiani. Did you know that the pulse of Western Pennsylvania is in very good hands? It's because we have a system of healthcare whose hospitals have earned a host of medicine's most prestigious honors for cardiovascular care. From a host of the most prestigious sources like the American Heart Association, U.S. News and World Report, and health grades, like being in the top 10% in the nation for excellence in specialty cardiac care. Listed as one of America's 100 best in cardiac care. A heart surgery program ranked among the top 2% nationwide and cited as high performing for heart bypass, heart failure, and heart attack. Its superb physical expertise combined with the latest technology, including advanced, minimally invasive surgical options for cardiovascular disease. It's the Heart and Vascular Program at Independence Health System. Strong testimony that the pulse of Western Pennsylvania is indeed in very good hands. Independence Health System. Expert care here.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Hi, this is Father Tom Burke of the Diocese of Pittsburgh. Join us for Catholic Education Plus as we visit John F. Kennedy Catholic School in Washington for a holiday concert. Catholic Education Plus airs this Sunday morning at 6:30 and is sponsored by Sam and Judy Spanos in the Diocese of Pittsburgh.
It's a tradition that's over 70 years strong. KDKA and the Free Care Fund of Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, UPMC. Help us Thursday at 2 during the Colin Dunlap Show by ensuring that no child is ever denied medical care because of ability to pay. It's brought to you by Tempstar Heating and Cooling, Papa J's in the Strip, Boulevard Glass and Metal, Pennsylvania Laborers District Council, and by 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Whether it's audio that makes you move, think, or cheer,
It's all here.
Odyssey.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. 2 American soldiers and an American civilian interpreter have been killed in Syria. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
According to one U.S. official, this was an attack in an area of Syria that the new Syrian president, Ahmed al-Shara, does not currently control.
Israel killed a senior Hamas official in a strike in Gaza today. From Jerusalem, the BBC's James Cook.
In a statement, the Israeli military said it had struck a key Hamas terrorist, claiming that he had been involved in recent months in re-establishing Hamas's capabilities and weapons manufacturing.
The IDF says the commander played a key role in the deadly terrorist attack on southern Israel 2 years ago. More rain is in the forecast for Washington State tomorrow night, says National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley.
Even with a little additional rain, it's going to bring some of those river levels back up to flood stage.
The state has experienced historic flooding. CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-830-4914. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-830-4914. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-830-4914. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-830-4914. That's 800-830-4914.
Have a house you're ready to sell? Ryan Shalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. Over a decade in business and 175 plus 5-star reviews, we've helped people in all different situations get the most money out of their house when they need it. We'll save you time, money, and stress, and we'll even help you move. Call 412-500-9057. We'll get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours. That's 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com today.
Planning for retirement isn't easy. If you don't know where to start, join Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors every Saturday at 1 for the Net Worth Financial Hour. Beth shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
Unwrap the savings during the Jim Shorkey Kia of North Huntington and Wexford's holiday exchange season. Lease a new 2025 Kia Telluride for $285 a month for 24 months. Or finance at 0.9% APR for 60 months. Or lease a new 2026 Kia Sportage for $189 a month for 24 months. Upgrade today during the Seasons of New Tradition sales events. Your deal, your way. What a great day at Jim Shorkey Kia of North Huntington and Wexford. Call 609-735-6849 for offer details.
Did you miss this week's Allegheny Health Network Medical Frontiers? Log on to the Allegheny Health Network website to listen to your favorite Medical Frontier show. Visit ahn.org/Medical Frontiers podcast and look for your favorite Medical Frontiers show.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Cloudy this afternoon with snow developing, high 33. Snow tonight will taper to flurries late. Brisk and turning colder. Snow accumulations of 3 to 6 inches. Untreated surfaces will become slippery, the low 11. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Let's return to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Back to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is Rachel and John minus the Rachel. So we got done talking about weight loss drugs, and I'm actually astounded that John Jakisik considered them healthy. and they're curing all kind of health benefits. All right. In the meantime, you know what's going to cure your mental health is reading this book, Craig Wolfley's book, If These Walls Could Talk, Pittsburgh Steelers, with him and Jim Wexell. And here in the studio, honored. It's Pittsburgh royalty when you have somebody involved with the Steelers, including the Steelers' wives, and it is Faith Wolfley. Faith, thanks for braving the weather and coming in here.
It's awesome. Awesome to be here with you, John.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, we go way back, and when Dave Settlemeyer texted, I remember when we started the JAG podcast, it was all in that little office in Moon Township, and we were there. The Pompiani sisters had a podcast there, and Tunch and Wolf had a podcast there.
Yes, they sure did. That was the start of their podcast journey together, for sure.
And we've had some fun times, and we've had the opportunity to interview both of them on the podcast when they were doing all their good work over in the North Side. And so, anyway, bottom line is, welcome to KDKA. And first, let's just go through. This book is clearly a lot of work you've put into it lately, but how did this all go down as far as Craig was working on it with Jim Wexell, and then you just go through that story we talked about earlier?
Absolutely, yes. This book was decades in the making. He was writing stories that are in this book back in the 90s, and every offseason we'd talk about how he was going to get his book done, and every offseason would end and the book wasn't done until about 2 years ago. And he had been writing articles for Jim Wexell and his online publication, The Steel City Insider, and Jim had started to encourage him, like, hey, Craig, you've talked to me about wanting to write this book, let's do this. And so about 2 years ago, they got with the publisher Jim uses, Triumph Books, and worked out a deal. And then he got serious, because then we had dates and deadlines to meet, and he really started writing it. And it was due to the publisher in March of this past year, 2025. Okay. And the end of the season came. He had almost finished everything. And just to the end of January, he had finished the whole manuscript, and it was due to the publisher. He was going to do some of the other little bits, and that's when he got sick. And he actually just finished it right at the end of January. Wow. And then Jim helped us after he had passed away in March to get all the other little things together. His brother, Ron Wolfley, who was the voice out at Arizona Cardinals, he is the forward writer, and Jim wrote the introduction. I wrote the acknowledgments, and our son, Kyle Wolfley, in the military, he wrote the afterword.
So when you go through the manuscript and you see what's in this book, do you go back and relive, like you remember Craig coming home and telling this story, or are some of them like, wait, what? How does that work out for you?
I know most of the stories.
Okay.
Craig had a vision for this book from the very beginning, and him and Jim didn't always agree, but Jim saw his vision after it got done. He really liked the idea of it being one story per chapter, that a guy that wasn't a real long attention span and maybe just was going to sit in the bathroom for a little while could read a chapter and would be done with it, and he could put it down and then come back and read another chapter. So each chapter is a story within itself. You can literally read a chapter and you don't have to read, or you could read them out of order.
Okay.
And go and look through it and see them. So that was his vision for it, and that's how it turned out. And it's the way Craig talked. Jim Wexell was great at knowing that he didn't want to change his writing, because Craig wrote the way he talked. Mm-hmm. And you'll feel like he's sitting in the room with you when you read it.
That's pretty awesome. See, that the way he talked is what I wanted to ask you about, because he had all those Craigisms, yes. Right? And we know he did that on the broadcast. Did he do that to your kids and you when the kids were growing up? Or was that really just on the broadcast? Or
it was mainly on the broadcast, okay. Although they loved to say the words to him, like the dad would say, and they loved saying them to him because they heard him say them on the radio,
Okay.
But it wasn't the way he talked at home.
So when he's trying to tell him, look, I got to get you to take out the garbage every once in a while, he didn't use his Craigism.
He didn't say gadzooks.
Yeah. Right. I got you. So over the span of the book is pretty interesting. And, if you don't mind, I'd like to step aside. Again, reminding that it's Faith Wolfley. The book is If These Walls Could Talk, Pittsburgh Steelers by Craig Wolfley and Jim Wexell. And you can get it right now, as a matter of fact.
You can get it right now.
This is a great stocking stuffer Christmas gift.
Yes, it's on Amazon. They have them at Barnes & Noble. So they have them in the Steelers Pro Shop right now. They are available, and they're out there to get.
Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about where they can even meet you and get the book for some things. But if you don't mind, can we just delve into the fact that, we talked to Troy Polamalu and his wife at one point for an interview. And, the Steelers way, we talk about the Steelers way, but the Steelers way also seemed to include the significant others. Did you feel that? Because Fiona, is that right?
Yes.
She would say, yes, like they felt that, not pressure, but the honor of serving the folks.
Absolutely. And I think it's special here in Pittsburgh, and I think it's special with the Steelers because I think the Rooney family was very all-encompassing of family. It wasn't like they always said, it was, family first and your faith and then football.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just about football. And I don't know what other places are like so much, but the Steelers are special. They really included the families, the kids, and different activities. And it was important. It was important to be a part of it.
Yeah. And did Craig enjoy going into, him and Tunch, really, going in to meet the rookies each year? Did they? I know we talked to Santonio Holmes every once. He was invited to meet, the new wide receiver core, things like that. Did they enjoy that? And I'd have to think that when those guys walk in the room, the rookies go, oh. They kind of shut up and listen.
The rookies, they loved to meet them. They used to have even a rookie luncheon when they first came in, and Craig and Tunch would talk at those years ago. And they loved meeting the young guys. And Craig really wanted to be an encourager. That was his nature, to really encourage people. And so he always took the time to talk to those guys, encourage them. And even when something happened and they were having some bad weeks or something was going on, he was just right there to encourage them and, say a word to say, hey, been there, done that. And they knew that. And so they took what he said as valuable because they knew he'd been there before.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, some people defer my uncle, he doesn't really, or my grandpappy, he doesn't really. Yeah. These are people that are speaking with authority.
And Craig saw how much they respected him for how long he played.
Yeah.
He may not be in the Pro Hall of Fame, but he played for 12 years.
Yeah.
And careers nowadays, what is it, 3.5 years is the average career. Yeah. So when Tunch played 14 years, Craig played 12, they're like, what? How did you play that long?
Right. All right. So getting back to the book here, the stories, they're asking you for your favorite story would be like asking you to pick your favorite child. So we will not do that. But the fact of the matter is, I think it's interesting that I don't know that we know any stories from behind the walls of the Steelers, right? And because there's always that sort of, this just ethics that we don't do that, but they sound like these are going to be very positive stories.
They're fun. They're from the sidelines way back in the 80s and then all the way up through now. When he was broadcasting, he was on the sideline, things that happened in the booth. There's a really good story in there about Myron Cope. And when they were honoring Myron at halftime, and Craig was chosen as the one to be with him out there with the mic and go through it. And Tony Quattrini for the Steelers had told Craig, listen, halftime is only 12 minutes long. And you know how Myron likes to talk. And, you have to get him to finish at 12 because the NFL fines, huge fines, per minute if you go over on halftime.
Wow.
And so Craig started to sweat. And he's like, wait a second, Tony. I have to get the mic off him. He goes, I'm going to, he started fretting and thinking, I'm going to be the guy remembered for tackling Myron Cope and fighting him for the mic. And my broadcasting career was over. And of course that didn't happen. Myron was a pro and he did finish on time. But the story is very funny in his whole thought process of how this was going to go down bad.
I love it. I always got the feeling like Craig just wanted to just throw down a mic and go hit somebody as we're listening to it.
He wanted to put somebody's helmet on and go out there with him.
There you go. All right. So our guest is for the next until the top of the hour is Faith Wolfley, and we're talking about the book If These Walls Could Talk, Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to tell you where you can get it because it's a great stocking stuffer, a great Christmas gift. But Faith, are you also willing to take the 3-question Yinzer challenge?
I'll take them.
All right. It is John and Faith without Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
Have a house you're ready to sell? Ryan Shalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. Over a decade in business and 175 plus 5-star reviews, we've helped people in all different situations get the most money out of their house when they need it. We'll save you time, money, and stress, and we'll even help you move. Call 412-500-9057. We'll get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours. That's 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyers.pittsburgh.com today.
Americans spend $66 billion on weight loss products and services each year. And you know what? Right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Bitchoff has helped thousands of people do just that. Lose weight, keep it off. In fact, he's been helping people take back control of their lives for more than 20 years here in Pittsburgh at the PA Hypnosis Center. You have an opportunity to do the same. Are you battling anxiety? So many people are. He can help you with that. If you want to quit smoking, Dan Bitchoff is the call you should make at the PA Hypnosis Center today. Schedule your pre-consultation at 724-934-8446, 724-934-8446. Dan can help you reach your goal with a 98% success guarantee. 724-934-8446. Call now.
Tired of looking at your ugly old slippery bathtub? You don't have to any longer. Call PJ Fitzpatrick. The jacuzzi shower system from PJ Fitzpatrick features a low entry threshold with tons of design options. The jacuzzi shower is luxurious, affordable, and it installs in just one day. Plus, PJ will include a free shower seat and safety bars for all customers this month. Visit trustpj.com today for your free design consultation. That's trustpj.com.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls. Whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It is John checking around KDKA. Pittsburgh royalty, anything to do with the Steelers is Pittsburgh royalty. We have Faith Wolfley here talking about the book, which is a collaboration between Craig Wolfley and Jim Wexell. And the book is called If These Walls Could Talk, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so Faith, again, braved the weather, came into the studio to talk about this book. And you're showing us the book right now. I mean, it looks fantastic. And I love the fact that you were saying earlier before the break that it's put in what I would almost call essay mode. Yes. Short bits. And yes. I love the fact that this is so raw. You said, Craig pictured it, one sit on the toilet. You could get one. You don't have to worry about remembering anything. I love that.
Exactly. You don't have to have a long attention span.
Okay, there you go. All right. So, now, if I do, let's talk about your part of the book. You wrote the foreword.
I wrote the acknowledgments page.
The acknowledgments, yeah.
His brother, Ron Wolfley, wrote the foreword, and then our son, Kyle Wolfley, wrote the afterword.
It's funny because I think Ron is just as popular as the other Wolfleys here in Pittsburgh because Ron, they've talked to him so much,
yes.
right? Everybody's talked about him so much, but Talk about that as far as getting those people involved. Even your son, it's a book. It's a writing of passion at that point.
Absolutely,
right?
It was a labor of love, and Ronnie was so wanted to do it. Ronnie is like, you're right. He around here is like them. Because he was a WVU kid.
Yeah,
he was from and Craig was Syracuse, but everybody always thought he came from WVU because both his brothers played down there.
Okay.
And so Ronnie was so excited to be involved in it. Of course, Kyle was thrilled. And we have some great pictures in there. And one of my favorite is our oldest daughter, Megan, is at the very end. And there's a picture of him and the story that he tells about Megan and this snake that she wanted him to put on her shoulders, but he was a little bit afraid of snakes. And there's a picture of her at the very end. So it was really a labor of love, and stories about his sisters are some in there, and about our other children. And it was fantastic.
Well, and the fantastic work, and not to be really cheesy about this, but the fantastic work that Craig Wolfley and Tunch did for the folks on the north side has, just was amazing. And that work still continues, right? You're still supporting that work.
Absolutely. We were there on Thanksgiving and just there for something else. And actually, a friend of ours, they had their gala back in October, and the book was not out yet, but the publisher was able to get us 500 copies for the gala, and a friend of ours purchased those. For each person at the gala got one of these books.
Wow. Nice.
It was very cool.
Very cool. All right. I love this phrase, very cool. All right. So we want to tell everybody where to get the book, how to get the book, how to meet you about the book. But we have rules here at KDKA Radio, especially with the Jags. Are you willing to answer our Yinzer questions to pass go and go give out your other information?
Absolutely.
All right. So real quick, what is something we could possibly take your Yinzer card for? We always put examples. Rachel's not necessarily a fan of Permantes, but she supports it, but not a fan. How about you?
Well, it's funny. I told my girls, I said, I don't think I'm going to use this one, but I will. My sister loves the Steelers, and she is on Sundays or the game day. She's making all kind of food, and it's a party at her house, and she's excited, and everyone there is having a great time. And then one time, my girls went there to watch the game with her, and they came home and they said, Mom, we don't do anything for the Steelers. And she said, my sister Christy, she said, your mom's not a good Steelers wife.
There you go. I love that. Yeah. That's funny.
We always listen to it on the radio more often than even watching it, but it wasn't quite the party that she has. So I think it's kind of a Debbie Downer at our house during the games. That might be the reason why you'd want to take my card.
That's fair. All right. There you go. All right. How about a procrastination destination? Something you've been to a party, you've been around, and people say, hey, have you ever been? You're like, I keep meaning to get there, but I've never been there.
Well, I had a couple places I thought of, but I've never been to the Andy Warhol Museum. My sons have been there. They both went to CCAC for their first couple years of college.
Okay.
And they do a lot of different trips down there to the Andy Warhol, and I've never been there. But then the second place that I've never been to is Randyland.
Which is the number one answer to that question anytime we've ever asked it. I can't believe how many people have not been to Randyland. I think probably some of it is because Yinzers hate to have to park somewhere, and parking on the north side of where Randyland is really a bear. All right, so what about a neighborhood nah? In Pittsburgh, we say da da da, and if you don't believe it, you go nah. Then they repeat it, you go uh-huh. So all right, so what kind of neighborhood nah do you have?
We say nah and uh-huh all the time at our house. I don't know about this one, but when I came here and moved here to Brookline when I was a young child, we lived in Brookline for years. Okay. And the place to be in Brookline was the community center. And that was before they had a pool down there.
Okay.
And Chuck Seneff was the main coach for the boxing team, the Brookline Charlie's Angels, they called them. And Mickey was the one that ran the whole community center. And I don't know if you remember this, but Jesse Owens used to bring a big competition here, the Arco Jesse Owens games. And all through, I think, the 70s and even into the 80s. I think he passed away in 81 or 82. I actually competed in them when I was 11 years old and got to meet Jesse, and we had the event at the Pitt Stadium. And so Brookline was really the hub that put out a ton of kids that would win that event each year. And they'd take them to all over the places to compete in the nationals. And the year that I'd won in my event, we actually went to Los Angeles. And I had never been out of the state of Pennsylvania. So that was a pretty big deal.
That's pretty, nah.
Nah.
You go, all right, you pass go. You got to answer all of our questions. Where can everybody find the book? The book's title is If These Walls Could Talk, Pittsburgh Steelers by Craig Wolfley, Jim Wex, So where can they find it? And they get a chance to see you in person.
Yes, well, first it's on Amazon, easy to find on that, and also on Barnes & Nobles and down at the Steelers Pro Shop. Jim Wexel and I are going to do a couple events coming up here next Saturday at Pizzazz Italian Restaurant on Route 19, Jerry Bertiotti's place. We are having a book signing there from 3 to 5 on Saturday, the 20th of December. And it's going to be a great time. Jim will be there also. And then we're also going to be the following week at Chalk Talk out at the Market District. They have a live radio show. I believe Calvin Austin is the guest now on there.
Yeah.
And that will be going on from 7 to 8 on the 23rd.
There you go. Man, it was really cool to meet you and really cool to just know this is continuing on. If I go read that book, there's some Craigisms in there as well.
Oh, and hey, we have a social media campaign. If you look online, it's called #GodZooks. And post your favorite story from the book or post your favorite story about Craig if you've met him. We've already got it all over Facebook, and I've seen all kind of stories on Twitter and on Instagram, and everyone is just having a blast getting to remember and talk about the wonderful stories about Craig and the Steelers.
That's so awesome to see you. Thanks for braving the weather. It's John and Rachel minus the Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Planning for retirement isn't easy. If you don't know where to start, join Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors every Saturday at 1 for the Net Worth Financial Hour. Beth shares helpful tips and strategies that just might change the course of your retirement. Listen every Saturday at 1 to the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews of Net Worth Advisors. Net Worth Advisors, LLC, is a registered investment advisor.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. President Trump today.
We will retaliate.
He was reacting to news of a deadly attack on American soldiers in Syria. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
The U.S. military says 2 U.S. soldiers and an American civilian interpreter were killed in an ambush by a lone ISIS gunman in Syria. 3 others were wounded, according to a statement by Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell. The attack happened in the central Syrian city of Palmyra, where the U.S. troops troops were conducting counterterrorism operations.
American soldiers have been on the ground in Syria since 2018, working to stop terrorist groups from forming. A fragile ceasefire is holding in Gaza, but that hasn't stopped Israel from searching for leaders of the Hamas terrorist group and killing them. The IDF today said it has killed a top Hamas commander in a strike on a car in Gaza. The BBC's James Cook reports from Jerusalem.
Raed Saad was a senior figure in Hamas, not only historically but currently, because he is believed to have recently been appointed to a member of a senior military council of senior figures of Hamas, which has been in place since this ceasefire came in.
What does the Pacific Northwest not need more of? National Weather Service meteorologist Reed Walcott on the effects of the last few days of torrential rain.
We are completely saturated. There are still trees submerged. Soils are extremely loose. It does not take 50-mile-an-hour winds to knock over trees, cause power outages, fall onto vehicles, houses, etc.
More rain is forecast for the region, arriving late tomorrow night. It was so cold in the upper Midwest today that even Wisconsinites were complaining.
The northern part of the Badger State could use more snow, but temperatures this weekend are harsh.
If you even do anything at home, you got to cover up.
We'd like to go snowshoeing, but in this weather, it's still a little bit brisk for that.
It's brutal. And how do you keep warm when it's this cold?
Shirts and flannels.
A coat and some Ugg boots, gloves, and a hat.
Bruce Marcus for CBS News, 3 Lakes, Wisconsin.
The forecast low today in 3 Lakes, 13 below zero. In Grand Forks, North Dakota, the wind made it feel like minus 36 degrees. The cold air mass is pushing south and east with winter advisories as far south as Alabama and Georgia. It seems like he's been around forever. Today, 6 decades after he sang and danced with Julie Andrews in Mary Poppins and starred in a sitcom with Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke celebrated his 100th birthday. He recently released a book on a subject he's an expert on. It's titled 100 Rules for Living to 100, An Optimist's Guide to a Happy Life. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
What's old is new again. Turns out there's a newfound affinity for analog photography.
Our phones now take great pictures.
Sure, you can take great photos on your phone, but you may also be spending that same time taking your photo being bombarded with incoming calls and messages.
Andrew Langson at CNET.
Instead, people are kind of going, no, we want the authenticity of imagery again.
Gen Z is helping drive renewed interest in analog photography. Camera and film sales are up. This year, Kodak launched direct-to-consumer film for the first time in more than a decade. New York photo store owner Dominic Lewis.
There's something to be said about just owning your own image.
Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Officials in Indonesia say devastating floods and landslides on the island of Sumatra have killed 1,006 people. Hundreds are missing, and the death toll is expected to rise as the country struggles with a huge scale of relief efforts. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he'll roll the shades up and, Dada, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not gonna live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org. The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Snow through this evening. We'll taper off to a couple of snow showers after midnight, bringing a total snowfall accumulation of 3 to 6 inches, low 11. A couple of snow showers around tomorrow, high 17. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Kyle Erickson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is Rachel and John jagging around KDKA, and it's a cold day. It's a Saturday. We're talking about kind of holiday gifts that you should be getting. And on this cold day, I can't think of a better topic right now than whiskey. Whiskey. Matt Strickland from the Iron City Distillery. Welcome, Pittsburgh Brewing Distillery. Welcome to KDKA.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, so listen, I went through all these notes, and we're going to talk whiskey, but I love the fact that, when the Steelers or the Pirates or the Penguins want somebody, they go get somebody. They went out to Kentucky and got somebody who knows how to make whiskey. Matt, is that true? Did I read that right?
Yeah. I'll never understand that one, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, welcome to KDK. We appreciate it. Rachel's on vacation, so we get to kind of sit here and talk whiskey. It's only been in the last 3 years that I've learned to like whiskey, and then I was fortunate enough to go over to Ireland. My kids took me over to Ireland in June, and I went to the Jameson Distillery. But every time we've been out to the Pittsburgh Brewing Facility, which is right off 28 at the Creighton exit, which has the best merch store ever, when we're walking around there, you smell is it the rye? Is it the corn? What am I smelling, Matt?
You're smelling a lot of rye. You're smelling a lot of bourbon. We do make a decent amount of single malt as well, but I store that in a different place.
All right,
tucked away from people.
It just smells so good, and it's almost like, wow, somebody needs to make a candle of that. So first, let's just back up. So we know Pittsburgh Brewing, they make the Iron City and Iron City Light. We go out there, we see it all can be manufactured, bottled. It's as clean as a whistle. It's nothing like the old facility that we used to know in Lawrenceville. But then somewhere along the way, you guys decided to get into distilling. When did that happen and why?
So for a number of years, I was a bit of a hired gun. I've worked all over the United States, and I've consulted on projects all throughout North and South America, and I was actually running a distillery in Quebec for the past couple years, and probably around 2021, I got a phone call from a friend asking me if I wanted to consult on a project in Pittsburgh. And I said, that sounds great. I'd never been to Pittsburgh before. And so they had basically rebuilt the brewery, and they had this extra building and thought, man, that would be really cool to put a distillery in there. So that's where I came in. And I helped them get the place designed and built out. And I thought my job was done. And then a few months later, I get a phone call from them again saying, hey, we can't really find anybody that meets the job description that you left for us. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, I kind of wrote my resume down hoping you'd call me. But so that's sort of what happened. And so they made me an offer, and I really couldn't turn it down. And as it turns out, Quebec is really cold. So it was time to move back to the States, and it was kind of the best time to do it. So we've been in production there since February of 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it. So now the crazy thing for me is I've seen whiskey, I understand it goes in barrels, it ages. It seems to me like in John's fuzzy math world, there's a whole lot of money that has to get spent on equipment and ship equipment from out of the country even, whatever, buy barrels, and you can't sell anything until a few years later, something like that. It's a whole lot of upfront investment and a lot of patience, which I don't have.
So yeah, it's a business. It is not for the faint of heart. What a lot of distilleries do is they go out and they will purchase whiskey from somebody else.
Okay.
And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of distilleries that are kind of, maybe obfuscating provenance of that whiskey.
Okay.
So
all right.
That happens a lot. We weren't planning on sourcing anything, but one of the interesting things about my career and all the places I've worked was that I had some barrels from one of my old distilleries come up for sale. And that was kind of a neat story. I still made the stuff. I mean, you look at the barrels, and my handwriting is on the barrels. I remember filling some of those specific ones. So we bought a few, probably about 170 barrels of some of my old work, and we thought, that'll last for 4 years. We'll just move it through the gift shop really slowly, and then I think we've had it for about a year and a half, and we're almost completely out of it. So, so the timing for this release is perfect.
And we are talking about a release in a second here. When I go to Jenny Lee Bakery, they make cinnamon bread, and I know Scott Baker. He says I can't even smell the cinnamon anymore. Are you that way? Are you that way as far as the smell of the rye? Are you immune to it at this point? Because again, I love the smell.
No.
Is that right? Okay.
No, that's one of the best things about coming into the distillery. I purposely park right next to our warehouse. I go in just so I can go in first thing in the morning, and I get to smell the barrels that we've been working on, and that's one of the best moments of my day. Unfortunately, it's right at the beginning of the day, so it's kind of downhill after that. No, it's great.
All right, so we are talking about the press release we got was a first ever rye whiskey, and Bessemer Rye is a limited run, 176 bottles that's coming out on Friday, December 19th. So help me out with a Bessemer Rye. What does that mean?
So we're Iron City Distilling, but the brand of whiskey that we're producing is Bessemer, and that is us paying a bit of tribute to the city of Pittsburgh and the history of steelmaking here. And there are a lot of parallels to the history of whiskey and the history of steel in this region, and both really important industries to the folks that lived here. And, unfortunately, whiskey, the heritage of whiskey in this region has been kind of forgotten. Western PA was bigger whiskey producing region than Kentucky throughout the 1800s, and a lot of people don't realize that. And it was all rye whiskey. And so we laid down a couple of barrels of what we felt was very historically accurate rye. That's our whole goal, is to try and recreate this lost style of rye from the late 1800s before Prohibition that people haven't had a chance to taste in 120 plus years. So we laid this barrel down a little over 2.5 years ago. It's tasting beautiful. So, we thought, well, it's Christmas time. We might as well bottle it up.
Let's do it. And we're going to tell everybody how to get it. Are you willing to hang with us? But, also answer our Yinzer questions as well.
Of course, yeah.
It is John and Rachel, minus the Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-200-1966. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-200-1966. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-200-1966 or biglou.com.
Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he'll roll the shades up and, Dad, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not gonna live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within. Over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, Rachel and John, KDKA. Listen, it's cold outside. We're not going to sing that song. If Rachel was here, she would start singing Baby, It's Cold Outside. But we're talking about whiskey. Whiskey made right here in Pittsburgh, actually right off the Creighton exit of 28. You know, and 28's pretty easy to go anymore. Now it's a big kid road. They put all this construction in there. It really doesn't take you a long way to get out there. As a matter of fact, our guest, Matt, lives in the north side and runs out there on a daily basis. Matt, 28's, we don't fear it anymore, right?
No. I mean, keep in mind, I'm at work by around 5:15 in the morning. So, I don't actually see other cars.
I got you. I got you. All right. So, we're at Pittsburgh Brewing Distillery, and we talked about, it's at where the Iron City and Iron City Beer, Iron City Light is made. But you're releasing a first ever Bessemer Rye, a limited run of 176 bottles on December 19th. So, let's talk about that. And where do people, can you go online? Do you get it at the state store? How does that all work?
Well, that's going to be exclusively through our gift shop. We're going to do a couple single barrels over the next few months, and we're going to do a wider launch of our gin and then our whiskey in 26. So 26 is a big year for us.
Okay. All the stuff you've been working on, testing and such, you're going to put out there and say, okay, there's my baby, sending it off, right?
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, but it's a lot of fun.
You know, Matt, when I talk to someone like you, I think of going to my high school chemistry class, and I think, oh, my God, the chart, the this, the that. We couldn't wait for our chemistry teacher to just go, okay, we're going to blow off today, da-da-da. And I think if I would have just paid attention just a little bit, I could be someone like you, someone really important.
I don't know if you'd want to, but yeah.
But was chemistry your thing when you were, like, would you have known, I know there's a lot of, people are in podcasting 20 years ago, they didn't know there was podcasting, but would this be a job that you would have known, or how did you get into doing this?
I had no idea. I honestly didn't. I was actually pre-med. And I remember sitting in a professor's office who had a lot of impact on me, and he was like, you don't want to go to med school. You don't want to practice medicine. You want to make booze, because I was brewing beer at home, and that's and that's all I talked about. And so it was he used a lot of swear words at me, but he he was like, no, you need to go do something else. And I was doing well in school, but it was just, he could tell that just I wasn't interested. And so actually the next day I started applying to grad school for fermentation science, and there are schools for that. And so I wound up at Oregon State in their enology and viticulture program, which is basically the science and chemistry of wine. And so I was doing research for the Oregon wine industry, got my master's, and now, I've been fortunate. I teach and I lecture. I've written a couple of books on whiskey and distilling, and I'm back in school myself. I'm currently working on my doctorate, which is in distilling techniques. So yeah, I mean, there are programs out there, and it's a difficult course of work, but it's a lot of fun too.
All right, we want to talk about what your day looks like, but and we want to promote the fact that this 176 bottles is coming out, but we can't let you do that, Matt, unless you pass go and play by our rules and answer the Yinzer questions. Rachel wrote the Yinzer questions. She's not here, so we have to honor the code just in case she's listening out in Las Vegas. So are you willing to do that, Matt?
Yes.
All right, here we go. First one is that in Pittsburgh, people say, nah, like you say something you don't believe it. Pittsburghese says, nah, then the other person goes, uh-huh. So So what is some from a neighborhood that you have recognized since you've been here? Some people say Joe Montana, grew up on my street, the Barbie doll fence over in Polish Hill. What would be a for a neighborhood?
My gosh, I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even really. If I'm not in my house, I'm at work, and I probably spend more time at work than I do at my house. So,
okay.
Yeah.
one of the neighborhood I think for you guys is the building where you work.
Yeah.
It's historical, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's really neat. The building, that whole campus is from 1883. It's the old PPG Glassworks plant.
Yeah.
And you go through there, and so much of the stuff that the owner has tried to keep original as much as possible, and often through great expense, just because he didn't want to see it go away.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there are I-beams there holding the place up that still have Carnegie's name stamped into them.
Wow.
I mean, it's really
there you go.
cool.
There's a nuh-uh.
Yeah.
See that? There you go.
It's unbelievable.
All right. So how about what would we potentially take your Yinzer card away for? So Rachel always says she's a fan of permantes, but she doesn't like to eat permantes. Is there something like that? It's hallowed ground, but oh my God, I can't do it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. The thing is, I've moved around so much. This is going to sound terrible. I don't follow sports.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right.
I don't.
Okay.
It's not that I dislike them. It's just I can't keep up.
Just not something.
It's just I just can't keep up, and I feel terrible.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna come buy my whiskey now. I think that's...
No, I think the name says it all, and the fact that again people understand it's literally right off of 28 at the Creighton exit. I mean, you can't get much easier to get there. All right, and so what would be something that's a destination procrastination? So since you've been here in Pittsburgh, people might say, "Oh, have you gone to this? Have you gone to that?" Is there one of those yet that you said like, I want to get there, but I've never gotten there yet?
We were talking about this off air a minute ago, and you said a lot of people say Randyland.
Yes.
For me, it's probably the Warhol Museum.
Okay, that's the second one today. Somebody said that. Okay.
My wife actually used to work for Lou Reed.
Wow.
And but we just haven't gone. So,
okay.
Yeah.
When you're there, make sure you stop because the world headquarters of Jagoff Media is right around the corner there on Isabella. So, Matt Strickland, it's so awesome that you took time to come in here. We appreciate it. Where does everybody find out more as far as what you can do and where you can get this special offering of whiskey?
So right now, you can follow us on social media. We've got an Instagram page and a Facebook page, but icdistilling.com. And then really just come out and visit. We're open to the public and come in and take tours. We love that. And our tours, if you want to stop on our tours, we don't hide anything. We'll tell you anything you want to know about what we do and how we do it. You can grab a distiller. Don't surprise them. They're very skittish people, but they'll tell you anything you want to know.
One of the best merch stores I've ever seen in my life out there.
Very proud of it.
You really cannot go wrong by taking a tour out there, either your own or. All right, so Matt, thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about some markets, a pop-up market this weekend and next weekend for the holidays. You're going to want to hear about it next. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Delicious December savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. Sugardale semi-bonus whole hams, $1.29 a pound. California Sunkissed Nave Orange is 6 for $2. And selected varieties of Tide Simply Laundry Detergent, 31 to 32-ounce bottles, $1.99 each. Additional savings in our meat department. Amish Country Farm brand Spiral Cut Ham, $2.99 a pound. Selected varieties of Sugardale Bacon, 1-pound package, $3.99 each. In our produce department, Golden Ripe Pineapples, $2.99 each. And Baby Bella Mushrooms, 10-ounce package, 2 for $6. In our deli department, Cooper's Yellow or White Sharp American Cheese, $5.99 a pound. And this week, selected varieties of Wishbone Salad Dressing, 15-ounce bottles, 2 for $5.
So get in on the delicious December savings happening right now at Coons Market. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on coonsmarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/life.
I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know, taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM
CBS
1020.
News Brief. President Trump promises retaliation after an attacker killed 2 U.S. service members and interpreter in Syria. CBS's Eleanor Watson.
A lone ISIS gunman ambushed them, according to the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in a statement said the, quote, savage who conducted the attack has been killed by partner forces.
The military says 3 service members were also wounded. Israel says it's killed the most wanted Hamas leader in Gaza. CBS's Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem.
Israel says that Ra'ed Saad was the head of Hamas's weapons manufacturing headquarters and one of the architects of the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7, 2023.
The Pacific Northwest is getting a short break from the atmospheric rivers that have been flooding the region. The rain is expected to return tomorrow. This is Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson.
The coming weeks, months will be, tremendously stressful for so many Washingtonians. That's putting it, very mildly.
CBS News Brief. I'm Peter King.
Tune in to KDKA Radio every Thursday at 2:37 p.m. for your weekly Medicare update with Lisa Lauro from Secure Money Health. Lisa will provide you information on everything related to Medicare and how to prepare for it. Brought to you by Secure Money Health.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The popularity of cremation is on the rise. Unfortunately, so is the cost. I'm Dustin D'Alessandro, supervisor and funeral director. To keep the costs down, the Thomas M. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory Limited in Blawnox and the D'Alessandro Funeral Home and Crematory Limited in Lawrenceville have on-site crematories. By performing the cremation on-site without losing custody of the remains, our funeral homes can defray those costs and pass the savings on to you. Our fee for a direct cremation is only $1,250. This low-cost, direct cremation offer is available to all residents of Allegheny County. Surrounding counties will incur a slight additional fee based on mileage. Contact us with questions or to schedule an appointment by calling the Blawnox office at 412-828-5700 or our Lawrenceville office at 412-682-6500. Our websites are thomasmsmithfuneralhome.com and DeLisandroLTD.com.
It's the 3rd annual Edgar Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic on Monday, December 22nd at PPG Paints Arena. It's a full day of exciting high school basketball. 4 games, starting with an 11 o'clock matchup pitting Carrick against Alderdice, and ending with a clash between Mars and Peters Township. It's brought to you by Tobacco-Free Adagio Health. High school basketball lives on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It's Christmas, and don't forget the sausage. Richie's Italian Sausage has been a Pittsburgh holiday tradition for 80 years. From the Ritchie family, Merry Christmas. May your holiday be filled with God's blessings. Richie's Italian Sausage, it's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
3 to 6 inches of snow through early tonight will give way to a couple of snow showers later on. Streets and sidewalks snow-packed and slippery, low 11. Additional snow showers tomorrow, high 17. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Ka Erickson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Let's return to Rachel and John on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
How about Mike playing the Tennessee Whiskey song here? I don't know if that was, Mike, was that scheduled or did you throw that in there coming off of our whiskey talk? Nice. Good job. Good job. All right. So we are coming down. We're on till 5 o'clock, jagging around again. Rachel's not here. We have some guests, and it's the Holiday Black Market Pop-Up Edition put on by the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership and Shayla Hawkins Events. And it's this weekend. That's why we wanted to get everybody in here to talk about this, because you only have today, tomorrow, and next weekend to do this. So we have a guest in the studio. Keisha, welcome to KDKA.
Thank you.
All right, and we have somebody on the line. We're using the vMix. All right, gang, how are you? You guys were going home to Washington County and said, can we please somehow get there remotely because the weather's coming in? How are you?
We're doing amazing. Good. Thank you.
Good. All right. In case anybody wants to see this, it's on the KDK YouTube channel, sponsored by Metropolitan Window Company. All right. So we were talking about the Black Market, a holiday pop-up down in downtown. And the actual location is 107th Street, not 7th Avenue, 107th Street, the Encore building. And so, all right. So let's just get into this because we don't want to waste a whole lot of time talking about blah blahs. Let's talk about the market. So, Keisha, you're here in studio. Let's go to you first. Tell me, I think you said this is the first time you've been involved in this market. Is that right?
That is right. I received a email and a Facebook message from one of a good friend, and I was like, oh, let me, get connected. And it was only maybe like $250 or something like that for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I've been trying to, vend for this event because I think it's been going on for about 5 years. So I said, okay, well, let me get connected. And then Shayla Hawkins was like, oh, are you interested in, being on the radio? And I said, absolutely. What time? And she told me like the 4:15 and the 5:45. And I said, okay, let me get my products and let me just come up here and, talk about my products.
All right. So good. And we do want to talk that. And again, on the vMix line is Philip, and I'm going to get this wrong on the first try, I'm sure. Vania.
Vania.
All right. I'm going to make that note right now because, Rachel always gets all the names right and I don't. So I apologize if I may. So welcome. You guys are in Washington County. Tell us about how you got involved in the market.
Yes, we actually represent Nabakindo Skincare, and we got involved in the market because this was the first event we ever did as a business. So when we opened back during COVID and we launched.
Oh my God. You opened during COVID. Okay.
We opened during COVID because, that's just how fun and crazy we are. And we saw that Shayla was having something. We went down there and had an amazing time and have continued to support Shayla and everything that she does. And even Keisha, she's one of the businesses that we love as well. Our daughters love her lipstick, and we love our products, our skincare products with Nabakindo. So yeah, we've been excited about it.
All right. So I think it's interesting that the Downtown Partnership does this during the holidays, and the fact that, I look at what Keisha is offering and I look at what you guys are offering. It's for everybody, but I like the fact that there's a focus on it right now. But Keisha, so let's talk about your product. What do you offer?
I offer beauty brand products. So I have lip oils, lip gloss, matte lipstick, and I have regular bullet lipstick. I sell lip scrubs, facial serums, body oils, lashes, beard oil, and lip liners.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this before you even got involved in the market, Keisha?
I have been doing this since 2022.
Okay. So small business, we love this small business. And is it your full-time job, or you're doing it as something on the side?
This is my side job.
Okay.
It's not full-time as of yet.
Until
Hopefully-
until we explode from KDKA Radio tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. All right. I got you. Okay. All right. And Philip and Vania, tell me a little bit about what you guys do. I received your website earlier and looked in the skincare. And can there be any better time to be talking about skincare products during the dry months of the winter here in Pittsburgh?
You are very correct. So yes, we are a clean skincare company. We are prided in the fact that we believe everyone should treat their skin like royalty. Our products are made for anyone with skin, essentially, and I don't just say that. We truly, truly mean that. Our customer base is very diverse. They come to us with all different skin types, even some conditions. And what we want to do is we really just want to really implement holistic skincare practices and wellness. So everything we make across our product lines have 10 or less natural ingredients. I really would say 10 or less, but it's really 8 or less because the product that has the most ingredients only has 8. And they're all natural things that you can say and you can actually pronounce that you feel safe, putting onto your skin. So we are great for moms who are looking for eczema relief for their babies or even for themselves, or just someone or those who want a more elevated and luxurious experience when it comes to skincare. So, yeah.
And also skincare that's absent of chemicals, preservatives, and pesticides.
And no water. We're anhydrous. So our products are created without water, which allows for, again, the no chemicals, the no toxins or the preservatives, just natural ingredients. Our body moisturizers, we have body moisturizers, body oils, body sprays, facial care, all kinds. And we also have some feminine hygiene products, all void of the chemicals and the toxins that you would find in most mainstream brands on the market.
Vania, I know we talked about you guys started in COVID, but did you guys trip over this? Was someone in your family having an issue, or you saw a hole in the market through market research? What led you to this calling?
Yes, actually, our oldest daughter, she's now 10. She was born with eczema.
Okay.
And I'm originally from South Sudan and Liberia.
Okay.
And most of the products that we use there are absent of the chemicals and preservatives. And that's what I was used to prior to coming to America.
Okay.
So I decided to start formulating things for her skin. My background is biomedical science as well as international business.
Okay.
So I decided to start formulating products for my daughter to treat her eczema, just as a way to just help her out. Then different friends, family members started asking for those same products because they saw the efficacy across the board. And that kind of just ballooned into starting a company, and that we both work in full time. And we now have a storefront in the Mall of Robinson.
Okay.
We've been there 2 years now in our storefront, and we just continue to grow, and we're definitely blessed as a result.
Wow. How about you, Keisha? Stumbled upon it, or just was something you've always wanted to do?
Well, I've always loved beauty.
Mm-hmm.
However, in about 2001, I got really depressed. So I was on YouTube, and I was going to actually do body butters. And I said, everyone else is doing that. Let me do something else. And there was this lady, and she was like, I don't know what you're waiting on. You just might as well start your business. And at that time, I was cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner because, again, it was like around COVID time.
Okay.
So then I was like, let me, make some lip gloss. And I do make it. It's infused with coconut oil and vitamin E oil. So I wanted to make a lip gloss that was like non-sticky, that was like vegan free or vegan and just like non-sticky. So I just was like, I created it, and it's like baking, and it was therapy for me. And then after that, I asked a few friends of mine, like, hey, how you like it? You know, please tell me the truth. And he was like, oh, I love it. So then that's when I came out, before I even had my website, and I was just on Facebook and just, you know, promoting it on Facebook and Instagram, not yet TikTok. But then they were like, oh, you know, oh, can I get a package? And I'm like, oh, okay. At that time, I think it was like 4 for like 20 or something like that. And people loved it. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yay. So then I started making, oh, why don't you make this color? Why don't you make that color? And people were asking me, oh, make this color, make that color. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try. I'll let you test it. And if you like it, you know, you can purchase it. So that's where that came from, like depression. So
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Well, no, God, I love a positive story. Now,
Yeah.
you guys both, are you willing to stay through the commercial break and play a few games with us, our Yinzer questions, and make sure we know to get your websites out there? You guys good with that?
Of course, yeah.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
All right. We were talking about.
I have her lip gloss on right now, so it's great.
How about that?
Yeah.
See that? There you go. Nice. All right. It is John and Rachel, minus the Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's chicken pot pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Celebrate 100 years of high-flying dunks, 100 years of show-stopping moves, and 100 years of changing the game. Bring the whole family and be part of the legacy. This game is once in a century. Be there at PPG Paints Arena on December 26th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit ConsumerCellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Beckett's amazing. He's a miracle child. In the mornings, he'll wake up and he roll the shades up and, Dada, it's time to get up. It's a bright, beautiful day.
He started getting dizzy. At the first of the year, he started going, I have to sit down, I'm dizzy, Mommy. A month after his 3rd birthday, he got diagnosed with ATRT brain cancer. All you can think of is, the kid's not gonna live. The fact that St. Jude doesn't bill is a godsend. And the fact that we don't have to ask for help here makes things a lot easier to go through what we have to go through with Beckett. The fact that they are researching and they are saving these children, it's so important. We wouldn't be where we are without St. Jude, and in turn, we wouldn't be where we are without those people that have donated. They're the reason why my son's still alive.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Construction on Penstart, a testing track for autonomous vehicle companies and emergency responders. Commencing. President of RIDC, we have Mr. Don Smith.
And it's a partnership to really bring this testing environment that'll help keep the jobs from companies like Aurora and Stack and Motional here in the region.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Back to Rachel and John on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
It is. We're jagging around. We have a few more minutes left here up till 5 o'clock, and we're talking about the Pittsburgh Black Market Holiday Edition pop-up, which is down at the Encore Building. If you don't know what it is, it's 107th Street, not 7th Avenue. It's Shayla Hawkins Events, and the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership has put that. We have Philip and Vania on the VMix line. We have Keisha here. Both vendors coming up next weekend. As a matter of fact, I want to remind everybody that the pop-up occurs. It's occurring this weekend. Well, Thursday's already gone, but it goes till 9:30 tonight, and then tomorrow 11 till 6, and then returns again next Thursday 11 to 8. Fridays and Saturdays is 11 to 9:30, and Sunday is 11 to 6. And we're talking about Keisha. This is cool. Where Keisha was talking about the lipstick that she does, and Philip and Vania are talking about the skin oil, the skin products that they have. And then before we went to the break, Vania goes, well, I have Keisha's lipstick on. And then when we got off to the break, Keisha's like, well, I use their stuff. So it's kind of cool that this is working out there. And I guess, do either of you know how many total vendors are down there at any particular weekend? Or even on an average, like 15, 20? Do you know? Since it seems like you know each other as far as from vending together.
I'm not really
sure. Yes, I did talk to Shayla.
Like, there are a lot of vendors that... Oh.
Yep, there you go.
There are a lot of vendors that we have vended with, like, over the years.
Okay.
So I'm not even really sure. I would say maybe, like, what would you say? Like
Go ahead,
50
Vania.
Or maybe more than that?
So when we first started with the Black Market 5 years ago, we were in a different location on Smallman, downtown.
I remember.
And but we've since shifted. Now that location was able to house about 50, I believe.
Okay.
Where we are currently, I believe it's a smaller location. And so when I spoke to Shayla, she told me, I think she's capped at around 10 to 15 vendors.
Okay.
Per weekend.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Now, we love having you guys here in the studio and on the VMix line, and we would love for you guys to, maybe you're not prepared for this. We could bail out if we need to, but, we'd love for you to give you information about your products and your websites, but, our rule is from John and Rachel, you're not allowed to do any of that unless you answer some of our Yinzer questions, but, now, Philip, Vania, did you get the script earlier? I know Keisha did not. Did you see some of the questions? Are you willing to answer one or two?
I'm willing to answer all of them. I'm always game for
Philip's in. All right. Keisha, you had the luxury of being here when our previous guest was here. So, I'll tell you what. I'll throw out the questions. There are 3, and anybody can say, I want to answer. Sounds like Philip's in on all of them. So yeah. All right. So, because we want to make sure we get your websites. Okay. So, all right. First one is, Rachel's not a fan of Primanti Brothers, which we know is literally a religion here in Pittsburgh, right? And she basically says, look, I'll support them because I know it's Pittsburgh, but I don't like it. Do either one of you have something? And we would say, if Rachel doesn't like it, we'd take her Yinzer card away, her Pittsburgh card. Do any of you have something that would challenge your Yinzer card?
I guess I'm with Rachel because the first meal we ever had in Pittsburgh was that burger or whatever it was with fries in it.
Yes. Okay.
Fries,
yes.
Fries in anything except for as a side.
Okay.
I am not for.
Okay.
Especially not in salad. When you eat a salad, you don't think, maybe, I guess it's balanced, however you look at it. But fun fact, we are actually not from Pittsburgh. We moved here only 6.5 years ago from Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm native Tennessee in Memphis. My husband has an interesting background of his his journey of coming here to the United States as a young boy, but we are not originally native Pittsburghers. And so the food culture here is certainly different.
I'm glad you said different. That was a friendly word. That was a friendly phrase. Yes. High cholesterol, very unhealthy. Yes.
Love it.
I love it all the same, weather, but yeah, it's really good. It's we love it here.
All right. Keisha, is there something that's religiously Pittsburgh that you say, I just don't get it?
So, no, I would say I love the Pittsburgh salads.
Okay, you love it with the fried soda. There you
yes,
go.
Yes, I mean, oh my goodness.
I got
I
you.
love it.
What's funny is Craig Wolfley's wife was just on, and when we asked her this question, she said, I don't have big Steeler parties on game days. Our kids go to other people's houses because we don't put even any food out or anything like that. So, all right, we'll ask you one more question because we want to make sure we get time to. All right, so what is something in Pittsburgh where you've been to parties and people say, hey, have you ever been to Phipps or the Mattress Factory or Randy Land? What is something you say, oh, yeah, I want to get there, but I haven't gotten there? Keisha, how about you? Kind of one like that?
I would say Randyland. I've never been there, so probably over the holidays, take my kids
there. There you go. Randyland is the number one answer of anybody we've had on this show over the last year and a half. All right, Philip, Fania, what do you guys think?
I've never heard of Randyland, so
okay.
I would say that. But also for us, it'll be Kennywood.
Kennywood, yeah. Okay. All right, there you go. All right, well, got to go there. Speaking of fries, go get the cheese fries there. They're the corn dogs are to die for. I'm all about healthy, as you can tell. We're not talking about kale when you're talking to John Chamberlain. So, listen, I cannot thank you guys enough for everybody pitching in here. Keisha, what is your website? Where does everybody find your products?
So, my website is www.KESHARALLECTIONS.com.
All right. Yeah. Keisha's Collections.
Keisha
Ray's Collections. Got it. All right. Philip Vania, how about your website? Because we were talking off there. I think I'm going to have to contact you about some flaking skin on my forehead.
Yes.
Where do I go?
Hey, you're more than welcome to come. We are going to be happy to talk to you. So our website is nabakendo.com. NABAK1NDO. The number 1 is in place of the letter I. NAB is in boy, AKINDO.com. And our socials, you can find us at Nabakendo Skincare on Facebook, Instagram, or I should say Meta as a collective.
Yes.
TikTok and LinkedIn.
Nice. Make sure everybody gets down to the Black Market Pop-Up Market Holiday Edition pop-up down at 107th Street next weekend. Actually, even tomorrow, too. So we got no time to waste. It's John and Rachel, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. Thanks, guys.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-9